and stuff and paper hats. And I drink the champagne drink, and it is the time. Happy 2021, Rocky and Tegan.
Happy 2021! Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu.
What Tegan said.
It's a Happy New Year.
I believe you.
In 2 languages.
That seemed like a lot of work. Welcome to 2020 Championship Edition.
Wait, this isn't a competition anymore. We've specifically negotiated to make this a non-competition.
We have?
Yeah.
Who we negotiate with?
Each other. It was a collaboration.
Yeah, there was literally a no fighting clause.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. No, what I'm saying is that the year is in not Welcome to 2021. This is 2020 Championship Edition. Like when Capcom was cowards and refused to call a game Street Fighter 3 for years. And they're like, look, you can be the bosses now. You're Bison now.
Well, Street Fighter 3 is different.
Does that mean are you just calling 2020 New Game Plus? Or 2021 New Game Plus?
Essentially, yes. Like,
is 2020 Remake, where the ghosts are trying to make everything exactly the same.
Yeah.
Welcome to 2020 Turbo Edition, where the coronavirus can now throw a fireball.
Welcome to 2021. This year, we've already graffitied 2 senators' homes. Yay!
Welcome to 2020 Hyper Fighting, where now M. Bison can't taste anything.
I wonder if Gil's going to be in this one.
I just know that in my heart of hearts, no one was expecting Dan to solve the coronavirus, but he will.
Dan Abiki? Dan has always been good. I mean, he's a joke character, but he's always been good. No cap.
Dan will solve coronavirus.
Can't wait.
No one saw it coming.
So, did anyone other than me get podcasting upgrades for Christmas or the holidays?
I have a desk now.
Ooh.
And an office chair.
That's a significant upgrade.
I'm podcasting with the dog. That's different.
A dog! Not the cats?
Not the cats.
Aww.
Hey, Buffy.
Too many cats? Aw, hi, Buffy.
Oh.
You probably can't hear me, but I love you.
Oh, you toasted marshmallow.
Oh, love it.
Yep.
I got like a little boom mic.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so
nice.
now I can, when I kick my desk or whatever, you're gonna hear it, but you're not gonna hear a big thump in my microphone, so that's exciting.
That is very exciting.
And a pop screen filter. I mean, I had one, but I didn't have a place to, like, mount it. But now I have 2 pop screen filters, so I'm extra fancy.
Holy shit. Like, okay, I mean, obviously, this is something that, is, I guess, obvious because, she's been doing it now for close to 4 years, but Tegan enjoys and cares about podcasting and wanted to make her podcasting world better.
Yeah!
Yeah. This isn't just a place for her to, like, eat orange food and laugh as the world burns.
Yeah, I mean, I still plan on doing that.
Oh, I said not just,
Yeah, I think that's, like, part of my brand at this point.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, no. Like, this has been cool. And so, right before we start year 5, I figured I should put in some work. Not much work.
Year 5?
But some work.
Yeah, Rocky, we are about to close out 4 years of running this fucking podcast next month.
But I thought there's something important about year 5 that I don't remember. I feel like we said something.
Oh, we did, didn't we? Shoot.
Well, I think we have a whole year to figure it out. Just as long as we got it like locked down before February of 2022. And this is why we need interns.
Oh my god. At least moderators. Maybe not moderators.
Oh god, not moderators. Okay. Explicitly not moderators. They're drunk with power all over the internet.
What? No, moderators are cool. They protect normal girls who are like streaming on the internet.
Was it that we were going to do the 5-year Game of the Year conversation live?
Oh.
Is that what we're supposed to do? I think that's what we're supposed to do.
Jeez, okay, we gotta get vaccinated. We gotta be ready for like January 2022, where we do the drunken ramen Game of the Year episode.
Yeah.
Live from the Atari Hotel.
Oh my god, I can't wait. That's exactly how we're doing it. The Atari Hotel will sponsor the event by
I
paying
forgot
for our
about
rooms.
those stupid ass hotels. Oh, it's in the list somewhere. That's right. Everyone, this is the first week of our Game of the Year conversation. We do have a shifted format. We are not going to try to kill each other or do wacky mind games anymore.
Dad hated that.
Off them.
Dad did hate it.
In fact, like, I feel comfortable now pulling back the fucking curtain on that.
Uh-huh.
Last year during Game of the Year, is it fair to say before and after every Game of the Year recording, I was like, hey guys, I hate this.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Okay, yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the first Game of the Year, you were like, okay, yeah, we're doing it. And then after the first episode, you were like, this is garbage. And we were like, oh.
Okay.
Well.
Yeah, it was like, oh, that's weird. Garbage for you? I guess.
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad, but it's like, oops.
And, like, I don't think it necessarily was bad for the listener. In fact, I think it was probably pretty good for the listener. I just don't think it was very pleasant to make.
Well, to be fair, you were really upset about Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, you were. There was also one subject where I got actually heated. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, I do. It was when you said that What Remains of Edith Finch was not a video game.
No, that was the year before.
Yeah, I think that was year 2.
I thought, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus, what did we even do in year 1?
I think year 1, was when I almost started crying because I love Zelda so much, and I was like, she's such a good princess! She's literally the best girl in the world! She cannot win best girl!
Actually, you know what? I think I do remember that.
Yeah.
My bad.
And that was
the second year I did get really mad about what Remains of Edith Finch, which I think is still a good story, just not a good game.
And I think that part of what became so frustrating about Game of the Year, at least for me, was that it became like an essential part of the process to like shit on, dunk, and drag two of my dearest friends' fucking games that they like. Like, in order to like save your babies, you know, like you had to like destroy your friends' babies. And so like Brian will now do a brief reenactment of Game of the Year. Rocky says, Brian, tell me about Game X. Brian responds, fuck you, Rocky. Like, because he knows that what he's now doing is like tap dancing to save Game X. And it just got so tiresome after like 4 weeks. Like, especially when like and it was last week was like 5 weeks of it, and like the fourth week
it was 5 weeks last year.
Yeah, it was like extra savory. And so like what like it should be pointed out that like 2 years ago we had like the great gaming tragedy of 2 years ago where we lost a whole recording.
Oh god, and we had to re-record it, and I was so fucking tired. I was like, we did the first thing, and I was like, great, and then you were, like, 2 days later, you were like, the recording is gone, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, we lost Best Moment that year, too. That was, like, the longest show.
Oh god, it was so long.
But it somehow didn't feel as long as last year. Like, like, Best Moment, like, it just, like... It's like, oh man, like it's like, you know, that moment in like the Outer Wilds where like they kind of like enter the singularity and we're like, you know, contact all space and time, and I reach a point where I'm like, you know what, I don't care, I just don't care, like whatever you guys like, just pick your moments.
That one stayed, didn't it?
It did.
Okay.
Yes. And I know that like there was this like thing where just because of the nature of the way we were addressing our conversations about games, there were these moments which became like reductive and repetitive, and it was like I remember snapping when I saw the list of like best characters and like best boys and best girls, and I saw like just these like hordes and hordes and armies of Fire Emblem characters in like all of these categories, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, like.
And mid-show, we decided, yep, we're doing a best category for Fire Emblem characters.
Oh wow!
God, that was so funny.
And so we've decided to go with a new approach this year, where what we're gonna do is for the first week, we're going to just kind of look back on the news of the year. You know, like kind of like addressing our weekly format where we discuss shit that goes on. This is going to kind of replace the week on Game of the Year where we traditionally like drag people as hard as possible. But I want to point out here, hey, Elon Musk, you're still in our hearts and our bowels. And like CD Projekt Red, I assure you that like, even with this new format, there's a lot to say about you, and get fucked. So just because we're not necessarily like hunting for like the biggest dickhead and attempting to crown them doesn't mean that there aren't people out there who claim that women squirting in cam shows is magic. Like, it's the world is still stupid, and we'll still talk about that. And then what we decided to do for our second week is kind of like lift up and venerate the games that mean stuff to us personally over the course of the year. It'll be a chance like to really like talk about games which didn't necessarily come out this year, or just like games that really stuck, walking through all of them. It just, you know, I just took a peek at something which is on Tegan's list, which would normally never be part of the way our Game of the Year conversations have historically been structured, but I'm really looking forward to hearing Tegan talk next week about Tabletop Simulator. That's very exciting to me.
Oh, yeah. I was like, if it's the Picross game.
Yeah.
I know we've had that conversation on here before.
Right. But that's exciting. So, like, a chance to, like, lift up and venerate and celebrate, you know, the games that meant something to us personally this year and, like, why they did so. Because I know that the reason that Among Us means something to me is likely very different than why it means something to Rocky and Tegan. Because for me, the most important thing that Among Us was this year, for me, was a way to keep in touch and social with my coworkers.
I do want to play more Among Us.
Yeah, which is definitely different than their experience. And also, bonus, if we were sticklers for our own old rules, we wouldn't even be talking about Among Us, because Among Us came out in 2018, which means that, like, somebody would have to come out in, like, a crushed velvet jacket and go, well, guys, actually, Among Us isn't eligible for conversation this year. Well,
actually, we would put it in the old Game of the Year conversation.
Yes.
Which is games that were not released in the current cycle. But we only added that after literally having that conversation the first year, I think.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And realizing that, like, there would be games that we would have, like, really, really meaningful interaction with. And, like, I think about, you know, Tegan playing Nier Automata and me playing Final Fight, and they just being, like, the biggest games for us in the years that we played them. Just absolutely profound experiences, and not having a space to talk about that would have been dumb. And, like, by having a week where we're just like, okay, let's talk about the games that mean something to us, will allow that to exist more organically and not just, like, confine the conversation to, like, this one weird small corner, like, where we call out old games. For our third week, our plan is to talk about what our personal top fives are for the year, and, like, people will be able to take some liberty and, you know, figure out what that looks like. And spoilers, I have not figured out what my fucking top five are at all. Looks like Tegan's is half done, and
I mean, I did the easy half, to be fair.
Yes, I see that. And once again, like Rocky's features a game that if we were playing by what our rules used to look like, wouldn't even be something we'd be talking about in this context. So, like, hooray! Like, I'm already happier that, like, our new format is going to allow for stuff to be, like, celebrated more effectively.
It's going to be more in line with how we game.
Right. Exactly.
We made it our own. This is the first year of, hey, we made it our own, which may mean that while there may be some slight tweaks while we work through this, because it is our first time trying this format, so please be patient. But also, thank you for listening for 4 years. Hey!
Especially if you made it through the first year, you are members of our Cobra Club, and we love you.
Oh my god. You made it through the first year where we tortured you. We are sorry.
Yeah. And week 4 will look very similar to the traditional closeout of Game of the Year, where we create a ranked list of 10 games of the year for Impossible Coin. Yay. Okay. Well, I think I've set the table and explained what the fuck we're doing. Well, we want to take you back in time to Q1 when I guess initially we thought this might be a year.
Yeah, Q1 of 2020 was a time, for sure.
Hey, do you remember in February? We're like, oh, wow, COVID-19. That's a thing that seems to be sure dominant all around,
China exclusively.
Yeah, I think there might be one or two guys up in Seattle who've got it. Oh, well, my life is normal. Tegan, you want to hit us with a little COVID?
Yeah, sure. So, first story I want to bring back from the Wayback Machine is Plague Inc. asked its players very nicely, please don't use our video game to model actual real-life plagues. That's really insensitive, and yes, we have done all the science for you, so we have sort of figured out, like, how it would work, but also, like, we don't know the symptoms or, like, anything about COVID, so, like, it's not gonna be a really useful tool, and it's gonna make a bunch of people panic over nothing. Hey! Plague Inc., we appreciate you being forward, but also, game was gonna do a little bit, And also, it turned out to be really bad, so, if you were using Plague Inc. to model your coronavirus spread, maybe you were one of those people who took extra precautions a little bit ahead of the curve.
But I mean, no one could have predicted that. It's not even a majority. I think it was something roughly like 40% in the last poll I saw that were just like, the coronavirus is fake. And like, an even larger percentage than that were just like, yeah, maybe the coronavirus is real, but nobody I know has it, so I'm not going to wear a mask.
I hope that Plague Inc. took those actual news stories from actual people as it actually happened around the world and implemented them in an update to the game. Honestly, I honestly hope they did that, because that'd be amazing. Please make it so that you can start, as, like, the virus, a fake news campaign about how it isn't that bad, and most people survive, and, like, all that stuff.
So, I feel like Plague Inc. was very well-meaning, but there's so much stuff that Plague Inc. was right, like, about saying, like, please don't use us for modeling, because there's shit they just couldn't anticipate. And I think that's how profoundly dumb, stupid, and selfish Americans are.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a hot trip down the rabbit hole. The national average for COVID infection rates is 54 infections per 100,000 people. Arizona, where I live, is the third highest state in the country, with 78.5 infections per 100,000 people. Ooh. However, specifically my part of the valley, the Southwest Valley, Tolleson, Avondale, Goodyear, are 700 infections per 100,000 people.
Oof.
Yeah.
Those are big boy numbers.
Yes, they are. They are very bad. Because people are like, wear a mask, these colors don't run, and just, oh, God. And it's bad. It's fucking bad. And it's one of those things where, like, in retrospect, I completely respect and understand their decision to, like, tell people, don't use this for modeling. It's a fucking video game.
Mm-hmm.
Because that video game only understands a limited number of variables, a limited number of inputs, and there's things it cannot possibly qualify. Like, there's no way that Plague Inc. knows the early sign of the outbreak is people gathering in their houses and learning about how Carol Baskin killed her husband. Plague Inc. doesn't know that.
That was last year, wasn't it?
No, that was this year, Rocky.
That was March.
What?
That was one of the first things we did in lockdown. Brian was like,
God.
guys, there's this show called Tiger King and we have to watch it. And we were both like, why? I mean, good call, but
Yeah.
I like being semi-culturally relevant,
Yeah.
So our COVID dashboard, because I feel like every state has a fucking COVID dashboard at this point. My area has, they break it down in cases per 100,000 people over 2 weeks. So, like, some areas are really bad. Like, our top county is 1,364 cases per 100,000 people. My county is in the 800s. There's like 800 cases per 100,000 people. So like that's not so bad. And they also have below that our ICU utilization, so you know exactly how fucked you are if you get it.
Yup.
My area is only at 35% utilization though, as of Tuesday, because it updates every Tuesday. So that's nice. I like that we've gotten to see exactly. I like that like science communication has once again become like a very important thing, and like educators are discussing like effective science communication, and they're talking about they're now having like meaningful discussions about like how to combat disinformation and how to like communicate uncertainty without saying like nobody knows and like making people feel stupid, you know? I like that. That's about it. That's all I like about this entire thing.
But looking back on this Plague Inc. story has definitely reminded me how COVID has fucking changed everything. Everything. So, like, with a recent update to Nintendo Switch Online, they added the Donkey Kong Country games. And so I was just fucking hanging out, playing some Donkey Kong Country, you know, reminding myself that, like, Donkey Kong Country is a cruel and mean game.
Right.
It really is. Like...
I know, but it's funny to hear you say it.
Yeah, man. Like, lest we fucking forget that Donkey Kong Country is brought to you by the same assholes as Battletoads. And that shit is readily apparent when you're fucking playing it.
It's a different kind of game that doesn't want you to play it.
It is yes, it is. It is very much a different kind of game that does not want you to play it. And, like, so much of Donkey Kong Country relies on muscle memory and, like, literal memorization and all that shit. And I'm playing Donkey Kong Country, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, you know, I'm letting the memory of the game awaken in my fucking bones. And the first time I come across Espresso the ostrich in the game, I become the fucking DiCaprio pointing meme. I'm like, good. I'm like, I need one more ostrich. And, like, I can't even look at ostriches the same anymore. I just can't. Like, COVID has ruined ostriches for me, and that is largely because of this podcast, but, like, that shit's real. Like, I'm just riding this fucking ostrich in Donkey Kong Country, I'm like, I'm glad I've got an ostrich. I want to eat it later.
I'm going to save this and utilize it as a food source. It is my new emergency food.
Brent, I need you to watch Letterkenny. There's more ostrich jokes to be had.
That is the best argument you have made for Letterkenny so far.
Just send him the compilation of ostrich jokes.
Oh, okay, for sure.
That way, like, he could see them, and then he'll want to know them in context.
Yeah, I could do that. I could drop a line for Brian.
All right.
So that was story one.
Yep.
And then I brought two stories from the next week, and I think, honestly, they're telling of the year, I think. Like, in opposite directions, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is Nintendo came out and said, like, hey, we didn't sell as many Switches as we thought we were going to sell, so we're lowering our, like, total unit sales goal for fiscal year 2020. And fiscal year 2020, like, ends at the end of February, and then March picks up, and, like, right at the beginning of March, you couldn't find a Switch anywhere. They were gone. They were all gone. And I think it's really... I like this story because it's like, oh no, Nintendo didn't sell enough Switches. They're gonna end up retiring the console early, and we're gonna have, like, a Wii U situation again, and it's gonna suck. And then 4 weeks later, they can't keep them. They can't keep them in stock. They can't keep them on the shelves. It's the hottest fucking thing. You're finding them online for $800 when it's a fucking $300 machine. You know? It was just wild that, like, it turned around so quickly, completely because of COVID lockdown.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, here's where we get to talk about some fucking darkness. I think in a regular year, in a normal year,
mm-hmm.
we would be having conversations this week about how Nintendo shit the bed this year.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. I'm sure. Yeah. There'd be no Zelda announcement, and we'd be like, what the hell? Like,
there's been no sign of Metroid. You know,
Yep.
they
no sign of Bayonetta.
Yep. Like, at this point, like, the number of, like, outstanding games that they have announced, which we haven't heard hide nor hair of in more than 3 years, is pretty fucking long.
Mm-hmm.
We know we've got at least until 2022 for Shin Megami Tensei 5. And so, like, all of this stuff, which is no update, and they've essentially, at this point, run out of games on the Wii U that nobody played that they can just re-release. Because a lot of what they did during years 1 through 3, the Switch is like, hey guys, who wants to play the exciting new game Mario Kart 8? Meanwhile, like, the three of us shout, like, it's not a new game, you cowards, and, like...
It's just the first game with all the DLC!
Right. But there were so many people who just fucking didn't have a Wii U that Nintendo was able to get away with it.
Mm-hmm. But we knew.
We knew. And I think that with, like, Japanese dancing girls idol FE Encore Gaiden Dance Dance Hello, like, they really got to the bottom of, like, Wii U shit that, like...
Okay, first of all, fuck off, Brian. FE Encore slaps. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck
good.
are you talking about?
It was very good.
Okay,
It's
I'm
like
not saying it's a bad game.
Fire Emblem Encore is Persona, but with Fire Emblem characters.
Right.
So if you like Persona, you'll like it. If you like Fire Emblem, you'll like it.
And they have huge crossover appeal now. Because, like, of Awakening, it, like, brought in a whole new different, like, brand of Fire Emblem gamer. It was a really great idea. And they should have made more money. I'm glad it got re-released on the Switch.
And I think that, like, the last great Wii U game that people were like, why the fuck haven't you re-released this? Which is Super Mario 3D World. Or is it Super Mario 3D? Whatever the fucking name it had.
Right, yeah. With the cats.
With the cat suit and the clear pipes is getting re-released next month with, like, a new, like, giant, like, expansion pack. And, like, that's it. We are at the end of the Wii U shit that they could just re-release. Mm-hmm. Unless they really want to get crazy and be like, hey guys, here's Devil's Third for Switch. I mean, I suppose they could do that. It is the 20th anniversary of Fatal Frame. I suppose they could re-release the Fatal Frame game now that, like, Nintendo owns that IP. But there's...
Pair it with your cardboard camera from Labo.
Yeah.
That'd be good, actually. Hang on. Wait, that's a good idea.
But picture 2020, if Nintendo released what they released and communicated as much as they communicated, but there's no virus.
Yeah, but there's no nothing. Yeah, it would be garbage. But because of the virus, Nintendo saw some of their best sales. Switch appreciation skyrocketed. Animal Crossing's, like, their best seller now. And also, like, more people in Animal Crossing is good because Animal Crossing, good game. More people are learning that, like, you can use a lot of the reasons that gamers play so much is because games de-stress you. Like, you can use them to de-stress. Some games re-stress you. Like Splatoon.
They cannot have a pandemic bail their ass out every year.
No, they really can't.
I feel differently about Nintendo's year in 2020.
Okay, talk to us, Rocky.
I agree that Nintendo's, like, identity as, like, a first-party publisher wasn't really honored this year because there wasn't a lot of first-party offerings from Nintendo. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I feel like Nintendo has definitely loosened their restrictions and allowed a lot more third-party engagement on their platform. Mm-hmm. And there have been a lot more games. And to be fair, there is a good chunk of them that are straight up just, like, Steam re-releases, which is good for the creators for the most part because they aren't big names re-releasing on Switch alone. There are definitely a lot of indie people that put a lot of work and love into the games that they created that didn't do as well because of Steam's saturated marketplace that found new life on Switch. That's something that we talked about since Switch Year 1, and I think it only, like, expanded going into this year. Also, I think that the way that there are, and this isn't Nintendo specifically, I do have to say this, because Nintendo, while they are incredibly litigious and super uncool about people borrowing ideas or, like, adapting their intellectual property, I do think that there's a lot more competition for what is Nintendo's like standard turf, whether it be through like second party developers like HAL Laboratory, well, properties that are tied to like HAL Laboratories or like to Game Freak, like Pokemon and Kirby specifically, that are showing new third party things like Temtem and Kindred Fates that are like popping up because people are kind of like not necessarily aping, but like developing like this general idea that initially resonated with people. And I think that Nintendo's like Switch performance has actually been really strong, not only because of the pandemic and people locked in with like Animal Crossing, but also the way that they have let developers just kind of breathe a little bit on their platform. And whether or not that was by choice is a different issue, but I think that also has specifically worked out for them, especially the way that other platform holders are becoming more defensive about the people that get to make things on their platform or how these things get made.
I think I specifically want to call out a competitor with this comparison, Rocky, which is Sony.
Sure, yeah.
That, like, with the release of the PS5, Sony increasingly felt like a walled garden with less of a value proposition to players for being in that walled garden. They took away like basic like user interface functionality that had existed on the PS4, like a web browser. You can't even browse the web on the PS5, and apparently part of the reason for that internally was people were using the web browser on the PS4 to play HTML5 games online.
That's kind of amazing, actually.
Right. And, you know, like, no such lockdown exists, like, on the Xbox. Like you are still allowed and encouraged to use a web browser. And the rules to publish there are still, you know, pretty liberal, like, as far as, like, how, you know, who can get a development license for Xbox. But, like, while Nintendo and Microsoft increasingly felt like a PC space as far as, like, how they treat independent developers, Sony still felt very much like a conventional, like, old-fashioned console. Like, Nintendo had an average of 147 games come out on the Switch each week this year. Mm-hmm. Now, admittedly, there was a lot of shit in there, which was like, you know, like Jewel Jumble Gargle, Beautiful Diamond Girl, which would be like, you know, like unjumble the shapes to see the pretty girl or something like that. Or like walk across the room for a surprise. This only costs 10 cents. Like, there were some of those, but there was also like really cool shit in there, like Calico.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, there were like always like these diamonds in the rough and surprises on Switch, like where it felt if you were bored on your Switch, it was easy to go cruise the eShop and throw down a 10 spot and find a way to like spend an evening.
True.
Yeah. And this was the first year I've come close to like filling the micro SD card that I have sitting in my Switch, because like there was just so much good stuff from indie devs coming out left and right, like Little Misfortune and Hades, like all the damn time, Murder by Numbers, like yeah, Nintendo as a first party publisher wasn't really there this year. But Rocky, it's definitely a good call to like call out the fact that like the strategy that Nintendo started on the Wii U, I think finally started bearing fruit, which is to like say like, okay, if major AAA publishers are going to treat us like shit, then fine, fuck them. We're going to refocus our third-party relations efforts on indies.
Yeah.
And when you see stuff like surprise announcements like, hey guys, download Among Us today, it kind of shows where they know like the direction that gaming is going.
Yeah, they're paying attention.
Yeah. I guess what they need to do is they need to do both. You know, like it is definitely like it is a two-pronged strategy, which is buy the Switch for our amazing first-party IP keep playing your Switch for all the cool indie shit. So they just need to make good on both parts of a two-part strategy.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think they'll come back, but there is a lot of stuff that's still in the lab. Like, I know, like, apparently they got to a point where they publicly announced that they got to a point in developing Metroid Prime 4 where they said, we're making something and we realized this isn't what we want to give you, so we're restarting development. And that's the reason for the delays. When, like, 5 years ago, we would have never heard about this. It just would have been, 10 years went by. And who knows what happened. There are bits of that where Nintendo is becoming a bit more transparent. And this is, I am not going to defend Nintendo to the death because they do a lot of stupid shit, especially this past year, which we probably should have talked a bit more about. But there are definitely efforts to be a bit more transparent with what they are doing, for better or for worse, and a focus on listening on what's going on in the world of video games and how to service people more effectively.
I mean, that's definitely a good point. Like, the saying, like, hey guys, we shit-canned this Metroid Prime game, and not only do we shit-can this Metroid Prime game, we're moving who's developing it. It's going to an entirely different development studio.
Right.
Like, that was a Friday, damn, you got knocked the fuck out moment. Like, it's like, Jesus Christ, like, how bad was it? Like, I mean, honestly, I was curious. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, who showed up? Who got off a plane and was like, guys, thanks. And not only thanks, we're taking this away from you.
Right.
Like, Jesus.
Thanks, but actually, we've reconsidered.
Honestly, where Nintendo could use that transparency now is on some of the bullshit they pulled this year.
That's true. I agree with you.
I can't even decide what was the most offensive thing Nintendo did this year. That was how bad they fucked it up.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Was it cease and desisting the custom Joy-Cons that were going to fundraising for suicide prevention? Was it those?
Oh, God. Yeah, for Etika.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely, top 3. I do like the opportunity to point out the nakedly evil decision of them to cease and desist the Mario 99 game, only to release their own Battle Royale Mario platformer game.
Yep.
That's, obviously more janky and, just Jesus Christ, what are you guys thinking? Oh, and then it's going to disappear in, 2 months. So if you want to play it, I mean, good luck, I guess.
Yes, there were definitely, a lot of, weird, there was a lot of weird Disneyfication of Mario this year. And I just don't mean the strange videos of Miyamoto, wandering around the theme park, but they existed and they were strange. Also, Nintendo, I regret to inform you that giant, stupid, fat Americans are going to try and jump into those paintings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd watch those videos all day long. If someone gets me a 24-hour compilation of that, I will probably never do anything ever again.
You know what, that...
They're gonna have to, that what's gonna happen is they're gonna have to put, a sign up that says, please, if you jumped at these paintings, in a way that is not for a photo, in a specific painting that I'm sure they're gonna have set up by the time Japan opens to American tourists, specifically so that American tourists can jump at a fucking photo. If you do it outside of that area, we will ask you to leave the park.
There's just gonna be a whole person whose job is just to watch someone, and it's yep, he jumped at the painting, get him out of here.
Yep. I hope that person is also dressed like a Koopa Trooper.
I want him dressed as a bomb. But so outside of the weird videos of Miyamoto wandering around the theme park, which were amazing, and I hope you guys watched them, I really want the, invincibility star thing that you fill with popcorn and strap around your neck. It seems like the best thing ever.
Dude, I can't wait. I'm going. As soon as I'm gonna get my vaccine, and then I'm gonna, get on a plane.
Oh, God.
But what I mean by the, weird Disneyfication is exactly what fucking Rocky was talking about, where there's hey guys, here's a bunch of cool shit that you want. Hope you get it before March, where you can suck these tits.
Yeah.
What is with that?
That's not the end of that. I think it's part of a very deliberate strategy by Nintendo to build up the value of their individual IP, and it's not going to stop with Mario. I've said this once. I'll say it 1,000 times, I swear to God.
You are 100% fucking right. They are 100% going for the Disney VHS strategy from the 80s and 90s, where it was hey guys, get Pinocchio for these 6 months, or fuck yourself. Which means that every parent scrambled to buy giant clamshell Pinocchio before it
Yeah,
would
we had a
disappear.
bunch of those in my house. I didn't know what they were or why they were so like, fancy looking, and now I get it.
Yeah, that it was like this appointment purchase that your parents had to make. Like, fuck. And now that I'm being confronted by the same strategy, I'm offended. Because, like, I bought Super Mario 3D All-Stars the day it came out. And I'm here to say Super Mario Sunshine sucks shit. It really fucking does. And it is still irritating to, like, play Galaxy with motion controls, which they still force on you. They're like, hey, guys, you know how you can hold your two little Joy-Cons like Wii controllers, but we mostly don't force you to do that? Well, surprise, everybody, surprise. We're going to make you do it for Galaxy. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, really?
They fucking got you, Brian. Oh my god.
It's like, so I essentially just paid $60 to play Mario 64 is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I guess you also did in the 90s.
Well, in the 90s, I paid $75 to play Mario 64, which is when it was new. So I guess what you could say, Rocky, is that 25 years has gotten me a full $15 discount. To which I say, fuck you, Nintendo.
Oh, man.
Oh, God. But yeah, but why did I rush out to buy it the day it came out? Was
You
because
love Mario.
Well, because Nintendo told me that if I didn't buy it before March, it was gone forever.
That's also true. They did definitely fucking say that.
And like, I literally waited for 10 minutes before deciding to buy the Mario Game & Watch. And I was like, you know what? I think I'll get a Mario Game & Watch. And then when I went back to the website, they were gone. And like,
fuck, that shouldn't be that funny.
But,
oh my god!
But like when they were like, "Yep, we're just making enough."
Were they on eBay? Did bots snipe them? Tell me that Nintendo got by the bots, please.
Nintendo got by the bots, and
yes! Oh my god, I am so excited for like the group of nerds that are gonna get so angry about getting like sniped on and they're gonna talk to the sneakerheads, and they're gonna make anti-bot algorithms, and then they're gonna be the next billion-dollar company. It's gonna happen overnight. Like it's gonna be. Oh my god, I can't wait.
And I'm really just tired. It's only been now like what, maybe 6 months of this, but I'm really tired of Nintendo shit being a Supreme drop.
Dude, it's not just Nintendo. Dude, Nvidia and AMD got, dude. Like, Analog got.
Okay,
like, everyone's getting got.
The difference between and Analog definitely is in the Nintendo cap. So I'm not going to give them the same exclusion I'm about to give AMD, Nvidia, Microsoft, and Sony. The problem is that those four companies were based on manufacturing challenges, distribution challenges, but all four of those companies said with their full chest, we're going to make a lot more of this shit. It is not limited. We're sorry you can't get it right now, my dudes, but if you want a video card or if you want one of these new consoles, you will eventually be able to get them. Sorry about the assholes. So that was the response of those four companies. But here comes Nintendo, which says, hey, if you didn't get a Game & Watch Mario, too bad, so sad, so sorry. Get fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. I'll accept that.
Which is, to be fair, the exact same response that Analog provided.
Well, Analog has volume concerns. Like, is this? I mean, you did this to yourself. I don't know why this is a surprise.
You mean the Analog fan base getting out there talking about how good that shit is and like letting people know? I'm sorry that do I have to keep the things I like secret now? Like,
yes,
that's the true hipster way, dude. Like, you gotta have secret handshakes and everything.
You keep it a secret. You only talk about it once it's no longer available, and be like, "Well, I'm sorry you can't get this super cool thing, but like, it's a super cool thing." And if you could get one, you'd really like it, but you can't get one because I have one, and now they're not available anymore.
That fucking sucks, and it's not how I'm wired, and I can't.
You gotta say it exactly like that too. That's how you voice the whole thing.
Yeah, you gotta go full Valley Girl. They have the pocket, Brian. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, I understand your brain. I know you're built different, but like, they have the Analog pocket because they talk that way and they guard their secrets. Or you could convince Analog that they have a bigger market than they think they do.
They have a significantly larger fucking market. Like, they really do.
You gotta
Every
convince
time
them.
they put up shit, it sells out instantly. They're about to put up the fucking, like, Turbo Duo. They're putting up a fucking Turbo Duo. They're like, check out this Turbo Duo. And it's going to sell out. Like, oh, God.
Yeah, like under 10 minutes. I believe it. That makes sense to me. I'm just saying, like, they need to make more of their shit. I absolutely understand. You know this, too. They have considerations. They got to take out loans and get bigger, like, orders from manufacturers, which is more money up front. And they could go through all that trouble, or they can sell to the people that they know they're going to buy. And I suppose they also have to overpay the only guy in video games who looks more tired than Sakurai, which is fucking Kevtris. Like... I mean, Sakurai can chill. Like, he counts on binary in his fingers, and then, like, he plays 2, like, Switch controllers at the same time. The man's insane.
Okay, that's true.
Also, counting in binary in your hands is fucking dope. Like, once I found out I could do that, it's insane. I can count to, like, over 1,000 on my hands. 10 fingers. What is that?
But Kevtris, like, rebuilding the BIOS for the NES, like, years ago from scratch, pretty wild.
Yeah, hard as fuck.
Yeah. So, they got to pay him, and he's obviously tired. And also, like, Kevtris, like, he wants to dally with, like, less commercial things. And so they, like, have to be like, hey, Kevtris, we're going to throw retirement-level money at you to not just go pursue your own interest. Which means that there's, like, this really ugly, like, state of capitalism, too, where it's like, Kevtris is like, well, you know, I could pursue my passions, but, like, analog is really fucking... Oh, God. Yuck.
Yeah, I know it'd be stupid to not take the money. Yeah. No, I understand.
Yeah. And I just really want a fucking analog pocket, and fuck those people, and I know that if I can't get one from them, I am going to go on eBay, and I am going to get shanked, and it's going to suck.
I'm just saying, Brian, if you want to go on an adventure to get you an analog pocket, you have my sword.
And my axe. I don't know who gave me an axe.
It's fine.
But I got one.
Blah, blah, die beside a elf. Maybe die beside a friend. I don't know which one of you is the elf.
It's me. It's me.
Yeah,
it's me.
I'm the
it's
dwarf.
Me.
Tegan's the elf.
It's me. I'm the elf. I am the elf. I got engaged to Zelda. I am the elf.
Mm-hmm. It's true. And I'm the one with the beard, so, you know.
You have a beard?
Yeah, I have a beard.
Holy shit. Learning new things every day.
Tegan, it's been 4 years. I think I've had a beard basically the whole time.
I know nothing. You're a tiny anime boy in the corner of my Skype.
Yeah, it's true.
And on Discord. That's what you look like to me. In my head, that's what you look like.
That's fair. My tiny anime boy does not have a beard. Maybe I'll commission another one of those. Who knows? We'll get there when I get there.
Alright. Sounds fair to me.
What's this about esports? I don't even know.
Oh, yeah, so the third story that I chose to remind everyone about what early 2020 was supposed to be like is Walmart was going to start hosting esports tournaments in-store. That was it.
Oh, yeah.
That was it. That was the whole thing.
Esports Arena.
Yeah, Esports Arena was going to start hosting esports tournaments at your local Walmart.
Oh, that's still 100% real. I mean, they're not doing as many in-person locations anymore. There are definitely special Walmarts, like in SoCal and in like East Texas, that have like sectioned off esports arena areas with like merch and like gaming stations. And they were supposed to do like weeklies, but you know, coronavirus happened. But they're still doing online events. They are still sponsored by Pop-Tarts and Cheez-Its. But yeah, Esports Arena is 100% real. And whenever like coronavirus is slowed down, they're definitely going to go back into Walmart.
Oh yeah, for sure. But just like opposite ends. Don't use our thing to model plagues. Also, we're going to do large gatherings inside Walmart where you can purchase guns 15 feet away. So you can really, when you lose at your Call of Duty tournament in the Walmart, you can go over, purchase a shotgun, and have at it. Like,
oh my
Jesus
God.
We were literally making those jokes.
That, I actually, you know what? I think I remember those jokes too.
That was a whole thing. And then it was like, the next month, everything got shut down. Everything got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of things that got shut down. NBC Sports Washington around the start of the pandemic, you know, because the NBA shut down, which was a big thing that maybe told some people maybe the coronavirus is real because, you know, the basketball men weren't on their TV screens.
The sportsmen aren't doing the sports. What the fuck?
They still had the airtime and it was still slotted. So what this sort of local, I don't think it was statewide, station decided to do is to air a virtual game of basketball. Like, they just had like and it wasn't like people playing. So it wasn't like PvP. It was actually like a franchise simulated game of like 2K21 that they just aired during like the normal like basketball game slot in real life. And it wasn't a joke. Like, no one, like, they did it on purpose, and they just kind of let that happen.
The way TV worked during Corona is the wildest shit.
Yeah.
I don't have TV. I missed everything. The only thing I had was anime shut down in like February and March, and I was like, nice, I can catch up on backlog stuff. That's great. And I watched a ton of anime that I'd been meaning to watch, and then Digimon got put on hiatus, and I was very, very sad for like 3 months.
Oh, sorry. I'm just rereading the story. It wasn't just one game. They actually aired 13 regularly scheduled Wizards games and Capitals games.
Amazing. Astounding. Beautiful. Love it. Go ahead, Brian. We cut you off.
I'm still thinking about the whole season of the fucking Masked Singer I watch, where they had a fake audience.
Oh my god.
Wait, okay. So how fake are we talking about? Are we talking about stuffed animals, or are we talking about cardboard cutouts? What are we looking at?
Okay, so the audience was like silhouettes of people, so you could see like people cheering and clapping and standing. Mm-hmm. And then they would just like cut to canned footage of audiences from previous seasons. And it was like very weird and very obvious. I was like, well, I guess that's a strat.
I mean, it works for Devolver Digital.
Yep.
Does the average viewer like not get it? Do they not recognize that like the reason that like the audience is entirely unlit around the stage is because there's no one there, and that all of these like moving silhouettes are fucking CG people? Like, man.
Well, you gotta remember, a lot of people tend to like half watch nighttime entertainment, as evidenced by like, you know, the film Holiday, because that was definitely never a thing that you were supposed to watch on purpose with your eyes. Mm-hmm. But just something that was just kind of like on in the background. Like, because, you know, it looks like a movie. Definitely, they have characters, they say lines, they go and they do things.
It sounds like a movie. There are parts that could elicit some giggles.
Yeah.
If you're only half listening.
If you're only half listening, but once you full on listen, it's just designed to make you angry. I want you to stop listening.
Man.
Okay, so we've been here for a bit, so I just want to wrap up Q1 here, which is the story of EA, you know, the video game company, permabans a single player from all of their services and games. The username is Kurt0411, and he has been known for posting abusive and threatening messages about EA's employees on his social media and on his YouTube channel. And they definitely slipped from, you know, being a disgruntled gamer to being direct and intensely personal attacks. And previously, before banning him from everything, he had already been banned from his games of choice, which were Madden and FIFA. And after the repeated attacks, I just said, you know what? Fuck it. This guy doesn't get to play anything we make anymore.
Good.
I have the quotes from his tweets, which read, "I have never said anything I shouldn't have. This is just deeper than anyone thinks. They didn't want me competing at events because they were scared I'd win them."
Oh, God.
There were also earlier tweets where he said of EA that EA has done everything this year but look at themselves and admit they fucked it. They killed their game and their esport. Oh, my God. That guy doesn't get to play anything by EA anymore. I don't know what he's up to. I don't follow him on Twitter. I check in every once in a while, but he doesn't seem to be doing anything of note. Maybe he'll play like Valorant and then get ripped by like the CSGO guys and, you know, be at the bottom of their food chain or whatever.
Good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't wish this guy on anyone, but I'm definitely glad that, like, so often, like, publishers' response to shit is just like, well, it is what it is. But, like, EA actually taking this, like, hardline position seems like a good thing. you know, I don't often get a chance to say, like, good job, EA. Those feel like weird words to say. What? Good job, EA. Like, damn. Fuck this weirdo.
Yeah, no, he sucks. He's terrible, and I wouldn't want him playing my games either.
I don't want him playing any games.
True. Well, okay, no, I do want him to be trapped in, like, low bronze in League of Legends forever. And I'd like to watch it. I also would like for him to be in Valorant or CSGO, where he's stuck with a pistol forever, and, like, everyone buys things before he can figure it out. Like, I want him specifically to suffer in video games around a terrible people forever.
I would like for him to be on a special server in Hearthstone where the only thing he could play against is Evolve Shaman. See how he enjoys that.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, that's our favorite Q1 stories, and that took a little bit.
Back when we thought that the pandemic might be resolved in a matter of months. Like, hey guys, you know, like,
yeah, we gotta stay at home for 2 weeks to 4 weeks, and everything will be cool.
You know, like,
and I remember I was more like, I think 2 weeks is actually enough to do it, but I don't think we're gonna get that. But I think we'll get it together by the summer. It shouldn't be that hard.
Like, there might be something that looks like E3 later in the summer.
Yeah, they might push it back to, like, September, but that's reasonable, right? Jesus. We were fucking idiots.
We didn't know what we were messing with.
To be fair, I don't think any of us knew how dumb people were gonna be.
But speaking of E3, Tegan.
So, my top story from Q2 of this year was, there were like 12 fucking weeks of E3. I remember none of them. I just remember absolutely hating every single week after week 2. Just being like, what do you mean there's more stuff being announced?
There's another presentation.
Why couldn't they fucking organize this into, like, 1 week? Why did they decide to spread it all out over a zillion weeks? And that was, like, I feel like that was all we talked about all summer, was, like, E3 didn't happen when it was supposed to, and then the week after E3 was supposed to happen, it started, and then it just lasted, and kept going, and kept going. And I was like, what? I don't even care about what games are coming out. I don't give a shit. I'm not hyped for anything.
There were a handful of, like, redundant, like, presentations where it's like, this is the announcement trailer, and this is a bit of gameplay, and this is a theatrical trailer with director commentary, but it's like, it's the same game. And, like, I thought it was kind of cool the first time I saw it, but now I just hate seeing you guys. I don't want to buy this anymore. Get it away from me.
I don't need to know anything about this game. I've already seen a bunch of stuff about this game, and I don't care anymore.
And, like, I feel like for me, the stuff that I got out of the 12 weeks of E3 that I enjoyed the most was some of the smaller presentations, which were, like, collections of various indie developers who were under, like, some umbrella who normally would have been getting press just because of, like, the concentrated attention that comes around E3, but they needed to get out of the blast radius of something in order to get any attention whatsoever, which is part of what contributed to the 12 weekiness of it. Mm-hmm. But, like, the shit that, like, for me grew tiresome was, like, when Ubisoft was like, now please clap. And I'm like, no, Ubisoft, I will not please clap. Like, like when EA was like, hey guys, please clap. And, like, what was weird was, like, this year, EA's presentation was good. I still wasn't having any of it. Like, I acknowledge something, like, two things are simultaneously true. EA, this was a good presentation. You didn't fuck it up. There's nothing that really makes me want to throw my shoe at my television. But you know what? I just don't care. Like, it was only, like, the only things I really enjoyed from the endless E3 were the smaller indie presentations, and I can't call this a small indie presentation anymore, and the Devolver Direct.
Right.
Because I think the Devolver Direct this year was, like, intentionally, strangely hopeful. Like, like, when the weird on, like, I can't believe there's, like, fucking Devolver Direct canon at this point, like, and lore. But, like, they needed to, like, have, like, this hopeful story, and, like, if you watch through the credits, you saw the conditions under which they filmed the Devolver Direct, and so you saw, like, all these like socially distanced people who are being very responsible, good eggs in like masks and gloves filming, and you're like, God damn it, like good on you guys, because honestly the shot of vitamin B that it gave me from like being like just
people somewhere are taking this seriously, even if all the people around me aren't, and they're fucking dumb.
Right. And so to like have it be like a strangely weird, hopeful sci-fi story, and then like the credits be like, and then these people were responsible making it, felt very good. But that was it. That was E3 for me. Devolver Direct and the indies. I could have given two shits about anything else.
Yeah.
I think I watched the Devolver Direct this year. Like, it was at a time where I was like, oh yeah, I can actually watch this. And the entire time I was watching this, I was like, oh yeah, I absolutely hate everything that Devolver always announces because I hate the format of the announcement.
Oh man. Well, like, to be fair, some of the games that were coming out of Devolver, a lot of which I didn't really care for, Carrion did still look cool, but like, I've never cared for Serious Sam, and there was that one, like, almost like explicitly like racist like platform adventure game.
Oh, yet another Shadow Warrior game.
Shadow Warrior. Yeah. And I was just like, yo. How? Why? What? Like, oh man. It was
like I really don't understand anybody's continued patience for Shadow Warrior.
I mean, some people are into that. Like, I get that. It's a very specific niche, and I know that guy. I don't hang with them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I if I had to pick him out of a lineup, I know which one would love Shadow Warrior. I know I could do it.
Hey, Rocky, the main guy's name is Hung Lo. Do you get it?
Oh my god.
Do you get it, Rocky?
Oh
I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm so tired already.
Do you get it?
You can't be tired. Brian's gonna tire us out this next thing. This thing is so exhausting. Brian, you gotta do it.
Dearly beloved.
Oh God, no.
Take it, I'm
Go
not
ahead.
wrong.
Yeah, I know. I know you're not wrong. Go ahead. Lay me to rest.
We are gathered here today to pay tribute and celebrate the local church.
Oh no. Finally
God.
here.
And you may ask, what is that local church? Where is that local steeple? Well, open the doors and find all the trade-in value!
Oh, God.
I hate corporate hubris. I hate it so much. I feel like, hate of capitalism is pretty generalized, but something I specifically hate is corporate hubris. And honestly, no story in 2020 distilled corporate hubris quite like this fucking bullshit, which was when GameStop's, I hate this term, it sets my teeth on edge, chief customer officer.
Yep.
Fucking got him. Like, see, we're supposed to trust him. He's on our side.
He's on our
guys.
side.
He's on our side. He's the chief customer officer. What a nice dude.
You know what? Make me the
Cares
chief
about
customer
me,
officer.
the customer.
So here comes the chief customer officer of fucking GameStop, and oh god, God.
Come on, Brian.
All right.
Tell us how you really feel.
And this is after, oh Jesus Christ, Q1 was like a banner moment for GameStop when they were out there like defying local orders to close.
Right.
And
oh no, we're an essential service because we sell computer supplies sometimes.
right. And so they had these like stupid printouts that they were supposed to like have employees hand this to the police when you're defying the law. And like that was fucking amazing. That was amazing. And I was like, nothing can more clearly distill GameStop's contempt of humanity than that. And then along comes this motherfucker to be like, oh, you wanted a more clear distillation of GameStop's contempt for humanity? Well, then here you go. Frank Hamlin, Executive Vice President and Chief Customer Officer, said this shit. Sorry, I need to take a slug of beer.
Go for it.
Okay. Months later, and this still racks me to my core. We had a massive diversification strategy previously, but the new management team, under George Sherman, our new CEO, is myopically and manically forced on gaming. We need to focus on becoming a cultural center for gaming.
Sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little. Go on.
No, that makes sense. That sounds reasonable.
If E3... Fuck.
Say it! Say the words!
God damn it. I feel like I'm... It's like the beginning of like Evil Dead, and I'm like saying Klaatu Barada Nick 2. Like,
yeah!
If E3 is the Vatican of gaming, why aren't we the local church?
Fuck!
He said that in real life!
He
to
said that
people!
in real life to real people.
Like, this is not some stoner just sitting on a beanbag chair in his dorm, but like just, you know, like trying to asphyxiate himself with his fucking gravity bong. This is a man in a suit in a corporate meeting.
This is not a guy with a dab and a blowtorch.
He said it with his whole chest. We should be the local church of gaming. Oh my god.
You know what, man? Okay, we said that there might be changes on the fly to this year.
Sure.
I know that we said that we weren't going to get out a biggest asshole award.
Oh, we didn't have that one before. We did have most reprehensible business practice and dumb as shit.
Well, so we have never had a biggest asshole.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
it's new territory to crown biggest asshole. Well,
he gets to sponsor the next episode one. This guy in particular. What's his name?
Frank Hamlin.
Frank Hamlin.
Frank Hamlin.
Chief Customer Officer for GameStop Incorporated.
Is 2020's for gaming, and I say this specifically for gaming. He is gaming's biggest asshole.
He's just like, I wonder who, like, I want to know if he practiced that speech. Like, if he was like someplace, you know, just working out with friends, like, yeah, you know, like E3 is like the Vatican of gaming, right? Like, it's, I wonder if he tried it with like Mecha first. I'm not going to put this on this dude. I don't know this guy, but like, I just want to watch him, like,
Rocky?
bottle.
I can see it now. Okay, picture this.
Uh-huh.
Picture this.
Okay.
It's a very loud strip club in Houston.
For sure.
It is 1:15 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
And there is a guy wearing a blazer, and it's like kind of loose, and his tie is like pulled loose, and his top button on his shirt is undone. And he is doing a line of coke in a private party room.
Mm-hmm.
With like the two dancers who are hoping he'll pass out so they can get the credit card out of his pants.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jennifer Lopez in that movie style.
Hustlers. Jesus.
Yeah, Hustlers is great. By the way,
Okay.
strong recommend. Fucking love Hustlers. It's like a better Scorsese movie than most Scorsese movies.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yes.
I think I'll actually watch it.
So he's sitting there doing the line of coke off the little table in the private party room, and he first says to one of the two dancers, "Honey, I know that they said that the kitchen is closed, but do you think that they can get me any wings?"
He's fiending for strip club wings at 1:15 a.m.
He is.
Okay, let's
Turns
do
to
it.
the second dancer, does another line. I mean, if they're the fucking Vatican, why aren't we the fucking church? And that was the first draft of that moment. And she just like nods and goes, "You're right." And he's just like, "Yeah, of course I'm right." And he's like, he's emboldened by his rock hard cocaine erection and his desire for fucking chicken wings. And then like the next day when he's being interviewed by Fortune magazine, he's just like, he says this shit because he thought it was a good idea at 1:15 in the morning at a strip club in Houston.
Oh my god! And then they went. Where they go to Tulsa to like put together these like prototype
Oh god,
stores
yes.
or whatever.
Like, honestly, if we ever put together a okay, look, you may know about the Tegan's Foot Picks tier. I'm here to offer a higher tier than that, which is the the Brian ASMR tier. Like if you get the Brian ASMR tier, I will get you to sleep. I will help you sleep. I will offer you whispers and scratches and soft speaking. And what we'll do is we're going to use all that fucking money to go on a field trip for this fucking podcast to Tulsa. And we're going to walk around and we're going to look at these like weird broken GameStops and go like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is truly end of empire. Like, I can't. I just fucking can't. And then we're all going to the club and getting wings.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, I'm kind of down. This sounds like fun.
I love me some wings. Can they be boneless? I want to be able to eat them with a fork.
Those are nuggets.
Those are nuggets, Tegan, but sure.
Yeah, I want boneless chicken nuggets, but for adult.
That's why we're getting them at the club, Tegan.
Yay!
Okay, I just have one Q2 story here. It's kind of light, but I think it has significant implications for the future. Psyonix, the creators and proprietors of Rocket League, they went free to play this year in 2020. But in Q2 is when they announced that when they were going to go free to play, it was actually straight up free to play. Like you could just play it on anything. What this implied is that it actually circumvented services like PSN and Nintendo Switch Online, which require a subscription to play video games on the internet. But Rocket League has no such restriction. You can just play it. If you have a PlayStation device, it doesn't matter if you paid for PlayStation Plus or not. You would just be able to do it. And it's a big deal, even though it's something that's been done before. For example, Final Fantasy XIV doesn't require PSN to play online. You do have to pay Square Enix, though. Rocket League says, no, if there's a thing that plays video games, you can play Rocket League on it. You can play it on your phone, you can play it on your computer, you can play it out of a browser, you can play it on any console, and there's no upfront cost. You can just play the game. And that's a really big swing, especially on, closed architectures that we've talked about, like PSN or Nintendo Switch Online. Yep. And it's important because Psyonix isn't like, say, Epic Games, who owns Unreal Engine in addition to being a video game publisher that now has their own storefront. This company, Psyonix, has one major game, and it's Rocket League. And Rocket League is such a powerful force in the market, much like Fortnite, but without the initial backing of Unreal Engine. But they're able to force their will on platform holders. And that's not something that we've really seen before, but it may become increasingly the norm when games are bigger than platforms.
Well, I think that there's a missing piece of the puzzle when talking about Psyonix.
Okay.
Psyonix acquisition by Epic.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right.
I can accept that.
So, Epic has spent a lot of the last 2 to 3 years swinging their balls around.
Yes.
And getting into some pretty interesting pissing matches. And trying to position themselves as, hey guys, we're the billion-dollar publicly traded gaming company, but we're the friend of the gamer. This seems to fit with that template of behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And also, when Epic bought Psyonix, both Epic and Psyonix said at the time, hey guys, this isn't going to change the essential way that Psyonix does business. Flash forward to Q2 of 2020. About a year later, because Epic bought Psyonix in May of 2019. 2020 is now last year. And at the time, both Epic and Psyonix said, this isn't going to change the way Psyonix does business. And since then, the game's free to play like Fortnite, and you don't need to get Switch Online or PSN to play it. It's aggressive. Yes. It's very much evident that Psyonix, which had previously cultivated a reputation based on customer goodwill, based on the way that their transactions worked, is culturally different now.
That's fair. I actually didn't know about the Epic acquisition, but that makes a lot of sense given the context.
Yup. I guess we should move on to Q3.
Yeah.
So in Q3, I decided to pull one positive story and one other story. I'm not gonna say it's negative because it's just a lot. And the first story I pulled was that the writers for Love Struck went on strike and were able to successfully negotiate better contracts because of it. Which I think is awesome, especially for gaming stuff and writers. Like, especially with everything that we've heard about something that's coming up in Q4.
True.
With one particular company. I thought that was exciting. Not, like, a ton to say about it, though, I don't think. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, anyway. And then the other thing I pulled was the story that I did the most work on, and, that I have ever done for any article that we've had to cover, because it literally, like, was over several weeks, and then I had to read a bunch of legal documents that was not fun, was the whole TikTok, Tencent, WeChat, Trump fiasco to try and be like, which was before the election. And then immediately after the election, we just fucking switched gears into the election was rigged, even though it wasn't, so whatever. But that whole thing was, wow, a lot of work, and dumb in a lot of ways. Yay! I did a lot of work just to be like, this story is stupid.
Yeah. God, that was definitely a weird couple of weeks.
It was a weird couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm not going to explain why. People will be able to figure it out if they search around the internet a lot and keep track of me when they listen to this show. I had to delete TikTok off my phone for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing.
It was a whole thing, and that's why I was like, okay, so we gotta, like, I wanted to cover it, like, a little bit, because, like, specifically because of Tencent being tied into it. And then, like, it just got worse, and it got big, and it got gross, and it was not fun. Not fun to write about, not fun to read about, not fun to hear about on TikTok for fucking a month and a half. Garbage, the whole thing.
Just want to double check. TikTok is still owned by Tencent, right? Like, they didn't actually end up having to sell?
Yep.
Okay. Because it was definitely a period of time when Microsoft was saying, hey, now we'll swoop in and take TikTok. And like, whoa, that might actually be a really good idea for them. And then there was another week where it's like Walmart's like, actually, we're going to do a whole education initiative and we'll buy TikTok. Like, wait.
Yeah, and then Tencent was like, we didn't say anything about no education initiative for patriotic whatever.
Yeah.
Patriotic media. Oh, God.
Okay, guys. I know that we've already been at this for a while, but I need to, like, we have a detour. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Go for it. We've had a couple detours, so we're fine.
Yeah, I just watched this fucking movie.
You watched a movie?
It's called Iron Mask, and it stars Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, did you hear how all of Jackie Chan's films have been revealed to be tool-assisted superplay?
I did not.
What?
Never mind, that's a bad joke. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah,
Brian, go ahead.
But you want to walk us through that, Rocky?
What, tool-assisted superplay?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys know tool-assisted superplay is when, like, people have programmed AI do movements, like, say, in a video game that people can't normally do. Like, in Smash Bros, it got kind of busy, like, and that's how you got those, like, weird impossible videos for, like, Fox and Falco are fighting under the stage without, falling to their deaths. Because they're doing, like, frame-perfect movements that, like, people can't do consistently. Mm-hmm. So, like, the joke is that, like, Jackie Chan's like, wow, he's really getting around. I wonder how he did all this. Like, oh, it turns out it's fake. It's all been pre-programmed by an AI. But, like, that doesn't make any sense because, they didn't use CG in fucking Jackie Chan movies. But,
So, yeah. There's definitely a shit ton of CG in this Jackie Chan movie.
Okay.
some of it is definitely on Jackie Chan's ass.
Damn, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, how the fuck old is Jackie Chan now at this point anyway?
Oh, I thought you were saying like they enhanced his ass like Solid Snake in the video games.
Okay. All right, you.
What? You're the one that said it. Whatever. No, it's fine.
Okay.
I don't care.
So this movie is mainly made by a giant pile of Chinese and Russian money.
Okay.
A very small amount of American money. But like watching this movie, there were like, I shit you not, 14 different corporate logos at the beginning.
Oh no.
I've never been reduced to shouting by corporate logos before. Like, I thought it was a bit. I was like, is this a bit? Like when you get to your 8th corporate logo, you're like, is this a fucking bit? And then like the 9th one comes around, it's like Lionsgate. And I'm like, okay. What? But this movie was really like this giant CG monstrosity, which is designed to appeal to as broad a cross-section of Chinese and Russian filmgoers as possible. And I guess if somebody in the U.S. wants to watch it, fine. Fuck them. It's based on a Nikolai Gogol story about a guy who goes on adventures while making maps.
A cartographer?
Yes. But he's not just a regular cartographer. He's a hashtag adventure cartographer. And somehow, like, there was a movie, like, 6 years ago which made so much money about this guy that, like, they're like, well, let's make another one where he goes to China. And so this movie was actually a sequel to that. And, like, it opens with this whole, like, weird B-plot about how, like, Peter the Great, the Tsar of Russia, is actually locked up in the Tower of London by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
And like Arnold begins the movie by, like, opening, like the highest security room of the Tower of London, like, punching a guy and be like, happy anniversary! Ha! And, like, there's, like, 3 prisoners in there, and, like, one is, like, Peter the Great, one is Jackie Chan, and just one some old dude.
Wait, I think I saw the preview for this movie.
Yeah. It's so, like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, there's this whole bit about, like, a sleepy dragon who can't awaken because the dragon's eyelashes are too long.
What?
They're really heavy.
Yeah, yes. Tegan, I'm not even fucking around.
I'm sorry. Huh?
Can't open his eyes. Eyelashes, they're too thick, Tegan.
Tegan, look, I am not here to explain Chinese mythology because I will probably fuck it up.
Probably, yeah.
And since this movie tries to, like, heap at us shit tons of both Russian and Chinese mythology, while at the same time remaining compliant with the censorship requirements of the Chinese government. So, like, the movie ends... Spoilers. The movie ends with, like, Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger finally making it to China, while, like, most of the adventure happened without them in China. And so they get there, and, like, Arnold's, like, talking to Jackie Chan. He's like, so where is the dragon? Where is the dragon? I came all this way. I left my prison to see the dragon. And then, like, Jackie Chan's like, the dragon is all around us. The dragon is in the sky. The dragon is in the forest. The dragon is in the sea. Because part of Chinese censorship requirements is not promoting superstition. And so the movie has to close with reminding you that there are no fucking dragons.
Oh my god.
And...
But there's dragons. There's dragons and I know they're there.
And I think that we might watch this movie under very special conditions, which I will call a film and a 40. I just don't know how we're going to get Tegan to drink 40 ounces of malt liquor.
It's a big
bottle. How many fingers is that?
40 ounces?
Oh, wait, you're talking 40 ounces.
Yeah.
That's a whole bottle.
Right.
I can't drink that much.
Well, Tegan, okay. A 40 is intended to be a single serving container.
We'll find, like, an equivalent of, like, alcohol. We'll figure it out. Logistics will
Real
come
alcohol. I'm not drinking a malt liquor. Gross.
Yeah.
I'm drinking real booze.
Okay. I will watch this movie and I will hold it down with an old E800. Jesus Christ. Like, this movie was like a disastrous train wreck.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Can't wait.
It honestly felt like all 5 weeks of our Christmas movies combined. It was...
Oh, Brian has found something to rival the holiday. Okay.
Yes, I did.
Oh, I'm interested.
That's a tall order.
So, like, I have something that wasn't exactly a train wreck, but it definitely was a disappointment. Square Enix put out a remake for a game, or a remaster for a game that I care about, which is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered. We're not talking about 7 Remake, at least not right now. And it was put together by a new team because the old team doesn't exist. And about a month before the game's released, they announced that Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which had a cult following, and it kind of had to because it came out on the GameCube, and you needed 4 special peripherals and Game Boy Advances to play it with your friends. And they announced that they are making it cross-play in addition to being on multiple systems. So you could play it on Nintendo Switch, you could play it on PS4, you could play it on mobile, so you could play it on your phone, and you could also play it on PC. And you could play with all of them together, so you could play with all 4 of those systems at once in a full party. But they did say that they were dumping local co-op as a caveat. So if you wanted to play couch co-op for whatever reason, if you had 4 PS4 controllers in your house with a single PS4, or, you know, a setup that allowed you to play on 4 Switches, or even a group of friends all with mobile phones and you wanted to play together continuously, there wasn't a way to do that without using online. And there were specific things that they did to the game's general architecture. Like, instead of you sharing a town with a group of friends, like, each individual, like, save file had its own town. So you play with people that weren't in your town, but you had to because, you know, no local co-op. You ended up playing one person from one town, and you didn't build, like, the ecosystem of the town together. And that was, like, a big part of, like, the community-focused thing about the game. And there was also a million quality-of-life things that I'm not even sure if I'm going to talk about later on this month. But the reason I talk about it is because this juxtaposed with, like, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which decides to do different things to differentiate itself from the original. Final Fantasy VII specifically questioning the need for the events of the original story and, like, challenging the original canon, while this game seeming to do so, but on a technological standpoint, but didn't exactly make it better. And I remember it personally hurting me because I think this game and the story that it tells and the experience that it tries to give to people is a very interesting and beautiful thing that has a lot of depth and, like, nuance and space to, like, you know, interact with. And they really dropped the ball on this. And there are obviously reasons that are almost certainly tied to, you know, balances and budgets and whatever. But I remember this particular article that, like, was like the nail in the coffin that told me that this game would not be great. And that meant a lot to me.
Yeah. I feel, okay, and this is kind of where I get to have mercy on a company and then yell at a company.
Sure. Merciful yelling, my favorite.
Like, it's a darn shame that EA finally seems to have started listening to their customers in a year where we were all very tired and could have given a shit about a press conference. But, like, throughout the year, EA has shown routine evidence that, like, they actually are aware of their customers' concerns. Everything from, like, the price point to, like, of Star Wars Squadrons to addressing some concerns about, like, you know, FIFA and Madden. Like, it's evident that they're like, you know, we make the jokes that we hear you jokes. Mm-hmm. But it was obvious that, like, EA was like, hey, we're in kind of a spiral here. Let's not. And started trying to, like, pivot and recover. And that made me, like, sure, I didn't care for, like, sitting around watching their 2-hour press conference, but as somebody who's cared about video games for a very, very long time, Like, I remember a time when EA was the rogue, cool, edgy company where, like, artists went to be artists and do whatever the fuck they want. And, like, one of my favorite stories about video games ever is this young Dave Lang writes a letter to Trip Hawkins at EA about how he loves EA video games and how EA games are cool and for rebels. And then, like, Trip invites young Dave Lang to EA headquarters and gives him a tour, which inspires him to go, like, work in video games. And, like, it felt like, even if only incrementally, EA got closer to being that company again. And I have to stress, even if only incrementally. Like, they felt like it felt like they understood their heritage and also that they should care about their customers. Now, imagine, if you will, a world where Square Enix understands their heritage and values their customers.
Right.
Imagine how much better that world would be.
Oh, man.
Like, for real. I can't imagine a company that could, like, gain so much goodwill so quickly.
Okay, so, and I mean this, I'm not sure if there's anything that Square Enix can do that can make me forgive them for the road to and the final product of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Chrono Trigger, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, $10 right now.
I mean, is it like full HD? Because, I mean, I have Chrono Trigger. It's on my DS. I have it in my closet. I can play it right now.
It is... You could either play it as full HD, or you could play it pixel perfect 16-bit, or you can play the PS1 version with the PS1 cutscenes.
It's like the Dragon Quest XI treatment.
Right.
Or Dragon Quest XI-S treatment, I suppose.
Yes.
That could be cool. I don't know if I'd forget them. I'd still play it, and I'd have a good time, because it's fucking Chrono Trigger. Maybe HD Final Fantasy VI? But, like, the thing I was going to say...
Dragon Quest Maker.
That could be interesting.
I was going to say, like, I'm in line to forgive them now. Like,
but the thing is that, like, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remaster was going to be close. Already, fully bounced off of Kingdom Hearts 3 and hated everything that it stood for. And then I saw that Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remaster was finally coming out, and I was big excited about it. And it just turned out to be this huge letdown.
Super Mario RPG 2.
That's Intelligent Systems, and, they can't make RPGs anymore.
Are they not allowed?
They are not allowed.
Oh.
Nintendo said no.
Oh. Alright.
Oh, man. Like, I mean...
Well, what was the status of, like, the Square collab on... Like, Square was involved with Mario RPG.
Square was involved with Super Mario RPG. That is true. But Super Mario RPG, I think, was, like, headed by Intelligent Systems still. And Intelligent Systems is, like, the one that stuck with them. They basically got to a point with Nintendo... this is something I probably would have covered in my Paper Mario thing. But they got to a point with Nintendo where they were competing RPG Mario games or franchises that were being made. And Nintendo said Intelligent Systems can stay. They first said you can make RPGs, and then they said you can make RPGs, but not like that. Now we're at a point where, like, you can't make RPGs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if Square showed up to Nintendo with a pile of money and said, hey, if we took our pile of money and a smaller pile of money from you and put out Mario RPG 2, obviously the middle-aged nerds would eat that shit up like cornflakes.
I agree, but I think Nintendo would also make the wildly outrageous decision to fire Intelligent Systems, and then they'd lean on, like, Super Mario RPG for the next 10 years. Mixed bag, is all I'm saying.
Okay. So you're saying that there's really nothing that Square could do at this point to get back in your good graces?
I don't think so. I don't feel that way right now. Maybe I'll feel better in the future, but it's not right now.
Maybe you'll feel better after a snack.
God, I've had a lot of snacks to think about. Those Tegan, I've talked to a lot of food about my feelings with Square Enix.
I could go for a Kit Kat.
No, I think what you need is some meat that you have to tenderize yourself with a big mallet. I'm talking a big heavy mallet, really, like, pound it out, and then maybe you'll feel better.
I'll give that a try.
Take out all your aggression that way.
I could really go for a green tea Kit Kat.
Green tea Kit Kats are good. The matcha ones, delicious.
Mm.
When I get back from Japan, after the first place I go, when I get my once I get my vaccine, I will bring you guys green tea Kit Kats.
I'd appreciate it. Oh, actually, I have a thing I can take out some aggression on. One of the other stories I want to bring up from Q3 of this year is the United States Army rejoining...
Rocky, before you start, can you say the thing?
Wait, hold on. Which thing?
The thing about me?
Oh, you have to do that thing where it's like, this is our opinion and not Brian's. He's not legally bound by our opinions on things that are bad.
Oh, right, yeah.
Revolving around particular platforms that may start with a tool and end with an itch, because he's not allowed to have legal opinions on those things.
Right.
No, I'm allowed to have them taken. I'm just saying that they're not representative of those.
They're not representative of Brian's opinions. These are my opinions and my opinions alone. So the story that we're dancing until we can't dance anymore, is when the U.S. Army resumed streaming on Twitch after leaving for a month. The reason they left in the first place is that they drew the ire of the streaming community for, trying to recruit Twitch's base audience, which is mostly children, into thinking that maybe a career in the U.S. Army is for them. And, the U.S. Army vehemently denied these accusations. So the internet, as it does, turned to cyberbullying. And where a coined phrase, what's your favorite war crime, berated U.S. Army streamers for a few weeks, and then they stopped streaming, and then they came back. The day they came back, let me see if I can find his fucking name. What was that dumbass's name? They don't say his rank, but he is a member of the U.S. Army esports team. His name was Chris Gorin Jones, and he started his stream in a sort of a staring contest where he kind of refused to say a lot and just let the stream go, hoping to wait them out. And so they cyberbullied him for 3 hours. Brian, I think I cut you off. I'm just going to take a couple of excerpts. One is my favorite comment by Sprayanaise, who asked Gorin Jones, if you're piloting a drone and you're down to your last Hellfire missile, and you can choose between a hospital, orphanage, or UN outpost, which are you aiming for? And another one from Ultra Thor, which reads, you guys should just start making your own video game titles. Then you wouldn't have to bomb weddings in real life. You could just do it in the game. Oh, man.
Oof. Wow.
Yeah, they were... and these are just a couple of excerpts that I just pulled out of a random, 1 minute exchange. And he kind of just sat through this for about 3 hours. Until he gave up the stream, and then he was back the next day, and he didn't take questions. He just played World of Warcraft or whatever. They continue to cyberbully him, and they continue to cyberbully him to this day. But just the fact that this was coming up, because they were also doing, before they, took their hiatus, the U.S. Army Twitch stream was also doing things like advertising giveaways for Xbox 360, Xbox One controllers. And when they... had the subscription link in their chat, it led to a U.S. Army recruitment page. And if I remember correctly, there was never an announced winner of that controller. And when they're asked about it, they definitely just blow it off. And, oh my God, there was another incident that was specifically tied to recruiting that I can't remember. But the point is that they shouldn't be able to do it online. And they were also banning people in their chat, which in normal circumstances you can do if you're a private citizen. But since they're representing the U.S. Army, it's definitely a First Amendment violation, but they were doing it anyways. And that was something that the platform, in my opinion, wasn't designed or equipped to handle at the time. And it definitely caused problems that haven't entirely been resolved yet. But I personally like this story because I love when people get to rip in the Army for doing heinous bullshit. And if they are so afraid of facing their own history, they probably shouldn't have a Twitch channel.
Yo, okay. Okay. I am here to ironically rehabilitate the Army's Twitch channel. You ready to hear me do it?
Sure, yes. Go for it, man.
We're only playing Full Spectrum Warrior, baby. Okay? We are speed running Full Spectrum Warrior only. That is all we're doing. That is all we're doing. We're playing Full Spectrum Warrior. we're doing the splits. We are full on participating in the speedrunning community. That is it. That is fucking it. And like, anybody ask a question, I'll be like, hey, is this about speedrunning Full Spectrum Warrior? Oh, it's not? Well, suck on these tits, baby. Like, that is it.
Well, Brian, and another story we covered in Q4, I will cover a different branch of the U.S. military that found an entirely different way to avoid answering questions.
Okay. And like, I will answer any question in chat about Full Spectrum Warrior that you ask. So, which is hilarious because Full Spectrum Warrior has a admittedly sordid history.
Yes.
Which is definitely related to the U.S. military.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll answer any question you have, which will create the illusion of transparency.
Oh, also, I found it in the initial write-up. Chris Gorin Jones was a sergeant first class at the time.
Yeah. So, all right. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. Are you guys old enough to remember Full Spectrum Warrior?
No, I don't know what that is. You've been talking about it, and I'm like, I don't know how to tell him I don't know what that game is.
Okay. All right. So, once upon a time, Tegan, the U.S. Army was like, gee, video games have been around long enough at this point that it's likely that the current generation of likely recruits has always viewed video games as part of their life. So, why don't we entirely fund the development of a video game on the grounds that we can use it for research and recruitment purposes?
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
In 1999, the Army created a research center which was devoted to funding and developing a video game.
Uh-huh.
And
this was Full Spectrum Warrior?
And it was eventually Full Spectrum Warrior.
Okay.
And the Army threw a shit ton of money at this. Like they started development in 99, which meant that it wasn't likely to end up on what was at the time current gen consoles. So they focused their development efforts on #next gen. And we're looking toward the PS2 and the Xbox. And the amount of free positive press that they got from the gaming press was gross. It's like, oh man, the new Army game is going to be sick. Full Spectrum Warrior is going to be the best, baby. Oh man, it's going to be just like being in the Army, man. Like, I the number of articles I remember reading, they were like, oh yeah, man, it's just like being in the Army. Full Spectrum Warrior is being in the Army, baby. Like, there were so many articles like that when the game was in development.
Mm-hmm.
It was wild. And then, ultimately they handed development of the game off to, I shit you not, Pandemic Studios.
Oof.
Right.
Yes. And when the game came out, it was, pretty critically, a bomb. People were like, oh, I guess this game's not very good.
Mm-mm.
It only sold about 190,000 units on the Xbox. That's about it. That's about it. So, I think it'd be hilarious if there was a Twitch Army channel devoted to nothing but speedrunning Full Spectrum Warrior.
I'm just saying the entire time, oh, this is just like being in the Army.
Yeah,
all the time.
Kind of like if they went for a Dr. Disrespect kind of meme without all of the, boosting the neat culture and 4chan. If they're like, yeah, baby, that's it. It's it's all about my, it's all about the memes, baby. Full spectrum. You're we're beyond the full spectrum. We're full spectrum plus, baby. Just hit me with that. Hit me with that. Give me a guy speed running Full Spectrum Warrior, trying to, break his full spectrum splits, and then, have him, raise money during, Games Done Quick, for, Doctors Without Borders and shit. Do that. Do that. I'm just here to rehabilitate the army on Twitch. They don't have to thank me. Like, obviously it'll still piss some people off, but like if they're doing some like post-ironic like Adult Swim meme shit where all they're doing is speedrunning Full Spectrum Warrior, and like the guy doing it is like authorized to answer any question honestly about Full Spectrum Warrior, some people will see through it. I'm just saying. Like, there might be like one kid somewhere in Tulsa who's like, that's it, now I'll join the army. They'll get one.
I don't want them to get any, but that's a whole other thing.
Me neither, Rocky. I'm just saying. I have enough evil powers to give them one. I should.
Brian,
one, and that's it.
All right, but I think Brian has a eulogy for us, actually.
I do. And it kind of goes like this. On August 18th, a small child crawled into the 3DS enclosure at the Cincinnati Zoo.
Oh my god.
The 3DS dragged the kid around for a few minutes before a member of the Cincinnati Zoo shot the 3DS dead. At which point Nintendo said, you know what, why not?
Oh my god.
Rude.
Tegan, how's this rude?
It's rude to Harambe.
It is rude to Harambe.
Harambe dead, he don't care.
I think he would have wanted to live, Brian. That's all I'm saying.
You're right. And you know what? Me making jokes about the 3DS isn't bringing Harambe back, so he wouldn't give a shit.
Oh my god.
He wouldn't. If me stopping these jokes brings Harambe back, I would do it. You know that about me.
I believe that.
Yeah,
thank you.
Harambe was a gift to this world.
Thank you. You guys know I wouldn't be doing these jokes if it actually meant we could have Harambe back. But we can't. So the jokes are fine. They're not good, but they're fine.
They're not hurting anyone, I suppose.
The world is so bad. So what had happened was, you remember that time in 2017 when Nintendo said with their whole chest, we swear the Switch is not replacing the 3DS, and this will not impact development for the 3DS, and the 3DS is still a vibrant platform? Do you remember that time?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that time.
Do you remember knowing that they were liars?
I don't think that that's what happened.
Rocky, please tell me with a straight face how you knew that.
I knew that like the 3DS was actually doing well in places outside of North America, and like Japan still used them like really frequently. And I agree that new games were slowing down, especially first party ones, but there was still like, you know, albeit a trickle of like releases because the Switch was blowing up. But it was still an affordable like gaming choice for people that wanted to play portable games on the go.
Now, to be fair, it was even still doing well in North America thanks to the doorstop known as the 2DS.
Yeah.
You know, because people could get into that ecosystem for literally $99. You know, it was the, like, hand your kid this thing game machine, which nobody else really had an entry point priced at the hand your kid this thing level. Nintendo did with the 2DS. But they announced an end of the 3DS, which, like, legitimately makes me sad because there's something about Nintendo game development. There's something different, I'll put it this way, about Nintendo game development when it is intended exclusively for a mobile space. Mm-hmm. Nintendo seems to be more willing to get weird faster for its handhelds. Like, Wario was born in the mobile space. The weird and wild shit that Wario has represented over the years has primarily been in the handheld space. Mm-hmm. Nintendo's ongoing franchise about fashion has exclusively existed in the mobile space. Like, when Nintendo gets its weirdest, it's on handhelds. And so, like, I feel like that with the death of the 3DS stuff like Box Boy, stuff like Wario, stuff like Style Savvy is going to be a lot harder to come by because so many of those 3DS development teams are now just being absorbed by other larger teams that were already working on Switch games. And like the mindset for Switch development looks a lot more like home console development. Like the weird handheld Nintendo doesn't seem to have survived the migration to a single ecosystem. And that makes me sad.
I don't know how much more comfortable Nintendo would need to be to get more weird. Because the truth is that, like, I think Nintendo's weirdness in the portable space was less so about the individual people, but more of their, like, market position. Because they were...
As the, like, mobile gaming experience, you mean?
Right. Like, they were dominant, and then for a while they were a monopoly. And now, like, you know, mobile being alive on phones is like an install base that, like, the 3DS, any of the DS iterations would never be able to compete with, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But they're not as unified, like, as, like, a DS would be. And so, like, they were able to take more chances in the portable space because of how safe it was. And I agree that Nintendo's taking less risks, especially now, and I think it's because their current position is incredibly precarious. But I'm not sure what that line would be where Nintendo would feel safe to take bigger risks again. In fact, I don't know what that looks like for anyone in the near future, if I'm being honest. Outside of, like, you know, indies basically shooting their shot.
I feel like right now is the time for indies to shoot their shot.
Right. And
what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? Microsoft's gonna buy you, probably.
And so I think, like, Nintendo courting, like, relationships with indies is a good idea, at least, you know, in preserving that, like, weird, like, adventurous spirit. And I hope that expands over time, because the Nintendo Switch definitely has some weird good shit on it, but it just doesn't have Nintendo's name on it. Mm-hmm. And I think they're becoming a little less preoccupied with that, possibly for survival reasons, or, like, you know, they don't have the need to be especially weird themselves, which is a shame in its own right. I can accept, but I think the content is still there, albeit it's harder to find, but I'm interested in looking for it.
I wonder how much of that seemingly lack of weirdness is due to ideas that the current head of Nintendo has.
Oh, you mean Mr. Bowser?
No, not Mr. Bowser. The Japanese guy.
Oh, damn it.
Not Mr. Bowser. I feel like Mr. Bowser is probably doing an okay job. You know, accepting that, like, you're Bowser and now you're in charge of Nintendo. Yeah, I'm more concerned about the Japanese head of Nintendo kind of squashing the feeling that it doesn't matter if they fail while they're being weird as long as they try something. Because, like, he was willing to, like, cut his salary and do whatever it took to keep as many people on board, even in trying times, and I don't know that they feel like the current head of Japanese Nintendo would be willing to do the same. So there may be more pressure to be regular, quote unquote.
Yeah. You know, productive, upstanding, or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I okay. So, as the 3DS ended its life cycle, like, when they put the final nail into the coffin and said, the 3DS is dead, at that point, the 3DS had 75.9 million total units installed.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the Switch is at 68.3.
Right.
So, like, the Switch is selling at a significantly better pace than the 3DS.
That's
like,
true.
You know, it's certainly not DS levels.
Yeah, DS was insane.
Right. DS was nuts.
But, like, the sales pace definitely exceeds GameCube by a damn sight, N64 by a damn sight, and 3DS by a damn sight. Mm-hmm. So, it definitely signals that, like, Nintendo is significantly, they are very risk averse.
Mm-hmm.
But Nintendo, what I have always loved about Nintendo is like when Nintendo does weird bullshit. The Nintendo that like I love is a Nintendo that says, you know what? What if your video game machine had 2 screens on it? And people are like, well, what are you fucking talking about? And they're like, hey man, I don't give a fuck. What if it had 2 screens on it? And it's a kind of thing that like when you hear them say it, it just makes no sense as a consumer. Like obviously now, like everybody has all these like fond memories of the DS, and like it makes perfect sense. The historical synergy, the perspective, you're like, okay, it doesn't feel revelatory in hindsight, but it certainly was at the time. And like so much of that has to do with the fact that like Iwata did not give 2 shits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he would just do whatever.
He was like, let's see what happens.
Like, what if you fucking had to shake your controller? What if you needed to shake your controller? Like, people are already shaking their controller as an emotional response. What if we made you do it? Flash forward to, like, how many weird, awkward North American dates being about fucking Wii tennis.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not Nintendo anymore. Nintendo is now like, hey, everybody, for the next 6 months, buy this for your kids until it goes away in March. And I don't think I'm ready for Nintendo to be Disney. I
get that.
Yeah, like I want them to make weird and strange decisions which are sometimes stupid, because like for every Virtual Boy out there, there's a DS.
I mean, that's true. And while I do like those things about Nintendo, given the current landscape, I'm concerned that if Nintendo doesn't become Disney, they may not survive.
Then
like,
do they deserve to survive?
I don't know, man. But like,
because look at Disney and ask yourself, does Disney deserve to survive? As a purveyor of art, are the things that interest you about Disney's past, when they were willing to take risk? Because like right now, like to watch a Disney movie is more often than not to like be served up a film that was like resolved in fucking committee.
Yeah.
Like there's not much more in cinema that irritates me than that fucking Tony Stark funeral scene in Avengers Endgame. Like it's just that endless dolly shot. Like, see how sad everyone is, everybody? Aren't you crying? How big you crying? Are you all cry? Are you mini cry? You're mini cry.
I feel like that's not exclusively a Disney issue. Like that's a superhero movie issue.
Yeah. Like they just decided that we're gonna win at superhero movies.
If superhero movies would take more fucking shots from anime, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why, like, this year, so many people responded so positively to the movie The Old Guard, because The Old Guard took fucking risks and made definitive decisions as far as, like, how it executed story.
Yeah, that's true.
People are like, oh, wow, I'm seeing a movie that wasn't resolved by committee. This is so exciting. There was a movie I watched very, very recently called Over the Moon, which is about a little girl whose mother died. She's very sad. And so she decides to go to the moon to ask the goddess who lives there for her mother back. Or at the very least, to get a picture with the goddess to convince her dad that the goddess is real, because then her dad won't marry his new girlfriend. And like it was very definitive, and it was like very intentional in its storytelling, and I liked it because like even the rough parts felt like a choice. And I remember like going and reading about the movie after I watched it, and one of the things that the director said was that he wanted everything that happened in the movie have somebody who have like the buck stop with them. That like he wanted the buck to stop with like for the music with the composer and the for the writing to stop with the writer, and that he wanted there to be somebody who had the final say on something which was their thing, and that nobody could override them, because it would mean that the film still represented like a vision. And like that's the thing that I think is missing right now with Nintendo, is that like I think about the era that Sega as a console manufacturer died, and it's still one of the things that makes me most profoundly sad as a person who plays a lot of video games, is that like the Sega Dreamcast offered like a very, very definitive mission statement, and like each game that was like first party from Sega had a very articulate vision. You know, like whether it was, Jet Set Radio or Crazy Taxi or Space Channel 5, those games like had something to say and were specific things. And it feels like Nintendo right now is just like, okay guys, just so long as we don't rock the fucking boat, let's just keep on making these like Unix Android tablets that have controllers on the side that nobody notices, and hope that nobody says what next. And, like, I know that we're circling back to, like, talking about Nintendo and the pandemic here, but I feel like they really bought time this year. And there was an interview that came out this week with Doug Bowser, where Doug Bowser said, right now, the Nintendo Switch is halfway through its life cycle. And, like, I paused and thought about it, and I was like, I guess that makes sense. As of February, the Switch will be 4 years old, which also blew my fucking mind. Because, like, really, honestly, this podcast and the Switch are about the same age.
Right. Which
is helpful. I'm like, so where does Nintendo go next? Like, if you think that the Switch is halfway through its life cycle, where does Nintendo go next? Like, before Mr. Iwata passed, he signed off on the very first like design concepts for the Switch. The idea of like fusing the two product lines for Nintendo. So I guess my question is, where's the weirdness? Where's the vision? And that for me, like burying the 3DS feels more than usual like a sad moment for like in the end of a console's life cycle, because it also is like, are we burying Nintendo's weirdness?
Oh man, I think it's just taking a nap.
It's resting to come back stronger than ever, or something.
I honestly feel like the horrible, inevitable future of Nintendo is to be purchased by fucking Disney. So, who knows?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I mean, they could. I mean, Nintendo's a publicly traded company. Maybe Nintendo becomes like a Disney video game machine, the same way that they've been trying to build with Disney Interactive forever. But I don't think they'll be able to capitalize on the goodwill Nintendo's built up. I think we'll just have more polished Mario or whatever, and they'll survive, but they probably won't be great.
We'll also get that movie universe.
Oh, that's already happening.
About. Yeah, but I mean, it'll be like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There'll be a new Nintendo movie every other year.
Oh God!
And I'll be fucking sick of it, because there's gonna be all these people, and they're gonna come into my franchises and tell me they know more about it than I do because they've seen the movies, and I'm gonna be like, bitch, I'm gonna be that comic book nerd who's gatekeeping a community because people are gonna be assholes about it.
Yeah. Aren't you excited for the inevitable crossover where like Link high fives Thor and fist bumps Hawkeye?
Dude, no, absolutely not. Disgusting. Get it out of here.
Why are
when
you
Mario and
Timothy Chalamet as Ganondorf?
No.
Oh no. No, when
Ganondorf need to be big, beefy, muscle, handsome man.
No, they'll just have Jason Momoa do it.
No.
No, they'll have The Rock do it.
Oh, okay, yeah, The Rock can be Ganon. The Rock can be Ganon, absolutely, 100%.
He's gonna have a horrific wig,
though. Ganon. Like the Rock is at best a Goron. Okay.
He's Daruk!
He could be Daruk, actually.
He calls you brother!
But
smashes you into oblivion. I'm in for it.
Which
okay,
I guess
that's
fits
fine.
with the whole wrestling thing, you know, like brother, like it just
yeah.
Yes.
So what we do is, I guess that Loki guy, you know, Hiddleton, he's
Hiddleston?
Ganondorf.
No.
He's Ganondorf.
No.
He'll be a
No.
Xant, probably.
If we're getting some like
Wait.
any British actor, any rando British actor to be Ganondorf, can we have David Tennant be Ganondorf?
Wait, no. Okay, no, it's gonna be
Tom
it's gonna be
Hiddleston or
Tom
nothing.
Hiddleston. He's gonna do double duty as Loki and Waluigi.
Oh yeah, okay, he can be Waluigi, but he's gotta go. Wah.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have him do the wah.
We gotta have the good wah
No,
sound.
no.
Like it's gonna happen like right when he gets hit with Captain America's shield and Mario's hat.
He is not Waluigi, because Waluigi is Pete Davidson.
Pete
I don't know who
Davidson.
Pete Davidson is.
He'd be a funny Waluigi, actually. I'm kind of interested in that. But and if he doesn't get Waluigi, I'd like for him to be Mr. Saturn.
You know what? I'm good with that.
Can we get an actual kid to play Ness?
Oh, of course.
An actual child. I would like an actual child.
Yeah, it'll be you know the.
Oh, you mean Millie Bobby Brown?
No, it'll be like Brad Pitt's like inevitable son.
No,
from his
Finn
new, like,
Finn
marriage.
Wolfhard is Ness. Millie Bobby Brown is Paula. Oh God,
Who's gonna play Lucas, Brian?
fuck. I don't
Lucas
know.
also has a twin brother, so it's got to be someone who's a set of twins.
Who's the fat kid from Stranger Things? Like,
Is he
I
part of
watched
a set of
these.
twins?
and
I don't think so. No.
and now that like Tom Hiddleston is Ganondorf, Timothy Chalamet is free to be Link.
Hang on, I gotta Google who Timothy.
No, it's not gonna be Chalamet. It'll be Tom Holland will be Link.
No, Tom Holland can't be Link.
Why not?
He's busy being fucking Nathan Drake.
Yeah, now he's Nathan Drake. We're talking about 5 years from now.
Yeah, no,
Tegan.
absolutely not. No, he's gonna be too old to be Link. Timothy
Okay,
Chalamet.
that's fair.
He's okay. You know who we need? We need time travel so that we can get young Orlando Bloom to be Link.
Or like Orlando Bloom has a kid, doesn't he?
Does Orlando Bloom have a kid?
I think so. Oh no, maybe that was just that one Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I have no idea.
He does! He has a little boy! He's got curly hair. Oh, he's cute. That's gonna be great. Yes. His name's Flynn! I want Flynn to be Link. I'm okay with this.
Okay.
And then
He was only born in 2011. He can be young Link, and then we can age him. We can, like, have him actually age up and play different Links, and then he comes back and plays adult Link. Literally 7 years later.
Oh, and
we could do that. We could do that for real in real time.
And are you ready for the bombastic, overly terrible score when Link tumbles into the fairy fountain and encounters Zelda Williams as the fairy in the fountain? And like, there's all the swelling strings, and they're like, "Do you feel something in your broken heart?" And
Honestly, I'm thinking about the harp right now, and I'm feeling it. I'm in.
I can't wait.
congratulations! Then enjoy your movies made by committee.
I will be on. I will fight. I will fight. I will murder a man to be on that committee.
Brian, let's just be the committee, and then make a movie. Let's do that. Box
Being
office
the committee
us.
isn't better. It's still
No.
like a-
Brian, okay, so here's the thing. The movie that you described, like Over the Moon, as far as I understand, based on what you told me, it's still effectively made by a committee. Like, it's not 5 people arguing about one thing. It's one person deciding, this is good, let's move on. We can be those this is good, let's move on people. And we're still the committee, as far as I can tell. We're just making a better movie based on real choices.
But like, I mean, that's essentially saying that like a factory is a committee. Like, and I don't accept that. Like, I think that if people have different jobs and that they're ultimately responsible for that job, and those various different jobs, like, result in like one constituent completed thing, it's not made by committee. It's made by process. It's made by assembly, which I guess sounds like I'm still stripping the art out of it.
Right.
But it means that like different people have different responsibilities. Like the thing that I don't like about like the current Disney process is that there are people with fucking graphs and there's people with fucking like metadata studies who are like, how can we make the people cry the most and love our products?
Yeah, I don't care about any of that. That's not part of my process.
Great.
Anything else?
Great.
I want to make people tear up a little bit, but not out of, oh, isn't this so sad? I want those nostalgia tears. You hear it swell, the music come up, and it's just like, yep, this is it!
Now, Tegan, do you want there to be, like...
This is the real-life experience.
Do you want, like, to be part of, like, 5 people who can override any decision any given time?
For The Legend of Zelda, exclusively, yes. I want to be able to override anyone else's stupid goddamn decision. But for the other franchises, no. I am the authority on Zelda. I care about that franchise more than anyone else.
Which is a different thing from saying, I'm the authority on Zelda because I've done the research and I have the graphs.
I've also done the research. I don't have a graph, but I have done the research. I've done enough research as a passion project that I could build a Zelda movie easily.
I'd like to see that script.
I would need a big-ass budget. I would need a Disney-style budget.
I think Brian's gonna be the person that fights us on this movie.
I hate everything.
Brian, do you want to be the person who can override me on my Legend of Zelda committee?
No, I don't want that.
Yeah, you do. I am gonna need one person who isn't Alex to stand around and go, Tegan, you're being ridiculous. It's okay.
But Brian wants to enable those people.
I just need one person.
I don't want the
Brian,
keys
come
to
on.
the nuclear submarine.
Yeah, give them. I want to do the ultimate epic Link crossover event. I'm going to do all the Zelda movies. Different person cast as Link for every movie. And then have the ultimate crossover event where they're all in the same movie. We got to have 15 Zelda movies in production at the same time so everyone's the right age for the fucking crossover event. We gotta go. We gotta move.
What's the crossover Zelda story gonna be about? Unless, I mean, like, assuming it's not actually just Smash Bros. Like,
no, it's not Smash Bros. Because it's only Link.
Yeah.
It's all the Links fighting actual demise.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Damn, do they have to share the Master Sword?
Now you're asking the real questions.
Okay, hold on, but this is about this year's news. We're definitely digressing. Brian, do you want to join us for Q4?
I'm so sorry.
Who are you apologizing to, Brian?
Everyone.
Yay! We're sorry. No, we're not. Anyway, Q4.
Please understand.
Q4, I didn't care about video game news in Q4. What I cared about was that Sony purchased Crunchyroll.
That is
I still
video
care
game
about
news.
It's not real video game. It's not about a game. It's about a company that also owns a video game company. That also happens to be called Sony. But Sony bought Crunchyroll. And I'm still interested to see what comes of that. I'm still waiting anxiously.
Well, something that I think we've talked about on the show before is that every major film studio in Hollywood, except for Sony, has their own streaming service set up at this point. You know,
yeah.
Sony has Funimation. They already own Funimation.
That is true.
So they do have a streaming service. It's just not as good as Crunchyroll.
Tegan, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, your one-stop shops, like, where, like, you know what I did on Christmas Day? I woke up, scratched my ass, went out to the living room, and fired up Wonder Woman 1984 on my television.
My condolences.
What do you mean your condolences?
It's not a good film.
You know what? I'm here to say I enjoyed Wonder Woman 1984, but that's not even relevant to this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I did that because I subscribed to Warner's streaming service, HBO Max, which, like, presents itself as a one-stop shop for Warner products. And just recently, Rocky and I guest spotted on a unique couple of episodes of The Spirit Hunters, which focused on C-Lab, which reminded me that, like, oh yeah, C-Lab is a thing that exists and I like it. And I was able to go pull up some more C-Lab to watch on HBO Max because it is a one-stop shop for Warner products. NBC Universal has a similar thing going with Peacock. And, you know, obviously Disney Plus is your one-stop shop for, like, Disney products. So, like, that's the thing. That's the rub. Is that major film studios have these, like, streaming services, and Sony hasn't really set up the one-stop shop for Sony's products. They haven't. Like, if you're like, I want to go watch some, like, Columbia Pictures movies, or some anime that, like, Sony has the rights to, there's not really, like, a single place that you can do that. And Sony has, like, the added benefit of having this, like, install base with the PlayStation that they haven't really been able to, like, effectively leverage with video products, and in fact have pointedly failed with leveraging the PlayStation for selling video products. Like, when they, like, had TV shows that were exclusive to PlayStation Plus, nobody watched those fucking shows. And so, like, I do see Sony's acquisition of Crunchyroll as ultimately PlayStation related, because Sony needs to make a larger play in the video space. And I do see, like, the idea of, like, a Sony streaming service rolling out at some point. Because, like, just in the last day, like, one of the things that I've done in the last day is watch the new season of Cobra Kai on Netflix. And at the beginning of every episode of Cobra Kai is a title card saying that, like, Cobra Kai is from Sony Pictures Television. The reason that Sony is selling Cobra Kai to Netflix is because right now they don't have any fucking place to put it. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't want to have to dig through a bunch of random shows that I don't care about
I have
in order
bad
to watch
news for you, Tegan.
my
anime. I have very bad
I
news
know. No, I'm well fucking aware, because, like, that's part of the reason I don't watch anime on Netflix. It's not just Netflix keeps it in jail for a fucking, like, whole season or two. It's that, like, I don't want to dig for it. Crunchyroll's all anime. Funimation is all anime. I don't want a Sony Motion Pictures event with also Crunchyroll and Funimation on it. You know? Does that make sense? Rocky, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does. And when Sony says to you, Tegan, like, what's the thing you want badly to happen in anime?
I just want... What do you mean? What do you mean, what's the thing I want badly? Like,
what's the thing that you think couldn't happen in anime and only people throwing stupid amounts of money at a problem could solve it?
I mean, there's anime about that. But I would like a Ouran High School Host Club reboot and season 2. And also Skip Beat season 2, actually. Thanks. That'd be great.
Okay. Tegan.
Yeah.
Welcome to the new Sony TV Plus.
Disgusting. I hate it.
Check out hot new products on the Sony TV Plus, like Cobra Kayak, or Cobra Kayak, the story of Johnny Lawrence finally buying a kayak. Ghostbusters, the television show, because, hey, we own Ghostbusters. And also, Ouran High School Season 2, and with a huge budget. That's where we're going. It's obviously part of Sony's play. Like, buying all the anime obviously means that, like, this is part of Sony's long-term video play. Like, I'm just curious as to, like, how long we have to wait before Sony's like, surprise, welcome to our streaming service.
I mean, sure. Like, okay, so it's obvious that Sony's going to build a streaming service, but, like, the way that Crunchyroll works doesn't, like, work well with, like, an integrated streaming service because of how, like, reliable and quickly they produce and, like, share, or not produce, but, like, surface new content.
Okay.
Even Netflix does, like, things with K-dramas where, like, they'll update weekly, but it's just, like, they have all the episodes. And, like, Crunchyroll offers, like, you know, simulcast with, like, Japanese, like, streaming, and then new episode that same day up on the platform. And unless Sony, like, commits to that, which I doubt they will, while also building a new streaming service that's obviously designed to push people towards their own catalog, isn't actually going to work.
Okay. Rocky?
Right, and Funimation already does, like, Funimation and Crunchyroll compete for licensing agreements for shows. So, what Funimation does is they have simul dubs, which is 1 week after the show airs in Japan, they have a dub of that show up online.
Okay, kids.
Yeah.
How much do you know about the merger of Williams and Midway from back in the 90s?
I don't know what either of those companies are.
Okay.
I was like 2 to 12 in the 90s.
Sure. So, when Williams defeated Midway in the arcade game, and they purchased Midway, Williams then adopted the Midway name. It made some of the internal employees angry because they're like, fuck this, like we put in all this work to defeat Midway. Why are we now adopting the Midway name? And the response given by Williams management was, we put in all this work to kill them because they had more public name recognition than us. We're going to get value out of the name. Friends, I assure you that what is going to happen with both Funimation and Crunchyroll, since they're both owned by Sony now, is they're going to continue to throw untold amounts of money at studios in Japan for licensing. But now that they control the licenses, they can release it on their schedule however they want, ultimately.
Yeah, and like...
Because now that there isn't anybody to release it simultaneously, subbed or dubbed, there is no other guy. You buy Crunchyroll to kill Crunchyroll.
There are other guys, though, because fan subs have always been and will always be a thing.
Yeah, and even then, like, there's still, like, pirates and shit. Like, they're just gonna say, fuck it. Like...
Yeah, anime is very much, like, we originated as pirates trying to get stuff out of Japan. So, like, it's not, we're not going back, you know?
But
if we gotta go back to piracy, we will, but...
Tegan, please think about the average consumer. Please think about the average American consumer. Like, I understand your passion. I understand your drive.
Brian, but, like, I think you're misunderstanding. Like, that is, like, the average American anime watcher. Like, it's true that, like, Crunchyroll has definitely grown because they've made, like, immediate anime watching easier to do. But, like, people who consume anime, like, even still in the mainstream, are pretty ravenous, and they're just gonna chase down the stuff until they get it. And maybe anime will shrink because of it, and it'll be Sony's fault. But, like, they're not gonna kowtow to them because
that is what is going to
service.
happen. Because, like, Sony is chasing after, like, and I know this is gonna, like, piss some people off. Sony doesn't care about you. Sony doesn't care about Tegan. Sony cares about...
I know that.
Yeah, Sony cares about me. Because
Really?
I'm a guy who, like, on HBO Max went and looked for the Crunchyroll button and was disappointed by how little was in the Crunchyroll button on HBO Max. And so then when I heard that, like, Sony bought Crunchyroll, I was like, oh, well, you know, I guess, like, eventually what's going to happen is a big Sony streaming service which has, like, better anime representation in it. I'll get that. I'll watch the anime there. Like...
Okay, well, Brian, if you're the whale that Sony is hunting for, then I'm going to revel when they lose a shit ton of money over this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm going to do it without remorse. I'm going to find my anime the way I want to watch it.
Then please do revel. Like, I absolutely say that. Like, if there is revelry to be had, then I'm on board. Like... I do think it is a cut off the nose despite the face strategy. Mm-hmm. But I also remember something like 12 years ago when Disney bought Marvel. Like, everyone was like, Jesus Christ, like, Disney's gonna kill... I remember the Disney kills Marvel is gonna kill Marvel stories. I remember them. I remember reading them. I remember, like, the internet being like, you know, like, here comes Mickey Mouse to butt fuck Spider-Man. Like, just...
Right.
You know, like, it was the wide media perspective at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no doubt. And I'm just saying that, like, you know, like, here we are, and, like, Disney has, like, sandblasted off any sign of, like, artistic integrity or individuality off of, like, Marvel's work whatsoever. It has this, like, glossy, shiny thing that they shit out 3 to 4 times a year and ask us to be happy about it. And for the most part, people are. People are, because there's a significantly larger number of people worldwide who are happy about eating what Disney shits out from Marvel 3 to 4 times a year than there are angry comic book nerds. There are still a shit ton of angry comic book nerds, but the volume of people that they got to consume these fucking Marvel movies is much higher.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that Sony is able to execute on the same level? Probably not. Do I think that that's what they think that they're doing?
But also, okay, hold on, Brian, like, step back real quick. Like, Crunchyroll doesn't make anime, right? Like, they distribute it.
Right, they're killing distribution competition. They think that they think that they're the king because they're killing the competition. Like, if there's no other major distribution avenues, like when Amazon, Jesus Christ, in here. Hey, okay, once again, I'm just me, everybody. My opinions are my own. They do not represent those of my employer. When Amazon thought that they were going to get the fucking anime, it didn't necessarily work out the way they thought it would.
Right, yeah.
And they threw a shit ton of money at that. A shit ton. And Sony is making an even bigger play than Amazon did. Like, Sony is out here buying the name with the most, like, name, like, if you're looking for, like, name recognition amongst the plebs, like, if you're just going to ask Joe America, where does anime come from? They're like, well, I think you buy it from Crunchyroll. You watch it, and they have the Crunchy Rolls. Like it just... Sony's going all in on making sure that they are where anime comes from in the United States. And between owning Crunchyroll and Funimation, where the fuck else do you sell your anime for U.S. audiences at this point?
High Dive.
Verve.
Yeah.
Oh, Verve is in Funimation,
yeah,
right?
Verve is part of Funimation. Like, when Funimation and Crunchyroll had to split up because Crunchyroll got bought by a different company, they had to come off of Verve.
Okay.
Is High Dive spelled weird?
No, I don't think so. It is HIDIVE. High Dive. Hi like hello. It is the cheaper option between the three, like, major players, and it does do dubs, subs, and stuff that maybe you're not going to want to watch around your parents.
Do you mean tentacles fucking ladies?
Jesus Christ.
I did not say that.
Well, I said that. I just asked for clarification.
Yeah, you did say that.
And then I asked for clarification. Is it tentacles fucking ladies?
I don't know. Because I don't watch that. But it does say uncensored content specifically.
Ah! All right.
Well, honestly, Brian, like, famously, like, the tentacle fucking is usually censored.
Yeah, it's very much like, because of Japanese media rules.
Oh, okay. And it looks like High Dive picked up most of the titles that were exclusive to Anime Strike, which was Amazon's platform after the closure of Anime Strike. So, I mean, and this High Dive appears to be owned by Sentai, which I guess means that, like, honestly, they'd have a fucking shot. It would be a David and Goliath situation, but they'd have a shot.
I mean, it's mostly them trying to get stuff from, like, TV Tokyo and Bandai, you know?
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, don't underestimate the laziness and the shittiness of the American consumer. American consumers literally cheer for monopoly. It is in their nature. They actively cheer for, I wish other companies would lose to this one company that I like, so that way I could buy everything I want from the one company that I like. It is the way American consumers are wired because they're fucking stupid.
So, the way that the Funimation Crunchyroll merger worked originally, you could go to Crunchyroll, or you could go to Funimation's website. You could use your regular membership that was now the same price across both platforms, and you could watch all of the stuff, because all they did was share libraries. So, like, you still had to use your login for Crunchyroll or your login for Funimation on the respective website, but you had access to both libraries on whichever platform you preferred. Or Verve. Like, you could access both libraries on Verve, too, because that was another thing. But, so, like, if you were using Verve for, like, your regular whatever comedy show stuff, there was a Funimation line, there was a Crunchyroll line, and you could access both libraries there. But I don't think, I'm not saying that they're not going to try to do one big major streaming service, but I don't think they're going to take down Crunchyroll and take down Funimation to make that thing a reality. Does that make sense? I don't feel like they're going to consolidate all of these things into one spot, because the people who like anime.
Like, they would literally just be throwing away money they already have. Like, it's not even that, like, the Crunchyroll people.
It doesn't make financial sense for them to do it the way that you're doing it, just because of the way that anime works. And I'm not saying that it's not, like, impossible. I'm just saying the way that anime fans, specifically Western anime fans, are, I don't think they would go for it. I think they'd rather cancel their subscriptions and go back to using, watchanimeonline.com and get Russian spyware on their computer so they could watch the anime that they like that no one is picking up. We'll go back to watching anime in 5 parts on YouTube with part 4 missing in 4-minute increments. Like, we've done it before, we'll do it again.
But with the coronavirus relief bill making illegal streaming a felony, will you, though?
It's a bill. It's not a law. If it's a law, then we have something to talk about.
The only hope of that not being part of the ultimate law is if, like, in conference committee it gets removed. And, like, nobody's asking for that to come out right now. The versions that the House and the Senate voted on have it in there. Right. The thing that the president signed has it in there. Mm-hmm. Which means, effectively, it is a law. You know, the only way it changes is if Bernie Sanders out there with his, like, comedy novelty oversized checks that he brought to the Senate floor, like, the bill that he introduces removes that, then it's out. But otherwise, like, streaming's a felony. Illegal streaming. And that is certainly going to change the way that YouTube enforces unauthorized content.
I agree with that.
You can do the same thing, though, and just get yourself a VPN, and then bam, I'm in Japan, and I'm watching legal content on Japanese YouTube.
Also, streaming's a little different from, like, uploaded videos.
Yeah. And, like, I know that, like, Nico Nico is, like, more user-friendly than ever.
I'm just saying, like, if Sony thinks that they can backdoor their way into a streaming service by leveraging anime fans by not actually, like, continuing their level of service, they're not going to stand for it. I've seen it happen.
I'm just saying that, like, guys, I saw comic book fans draw this line in the sand 12 years ago. And they said, there's no way that Disney can conquer comic book fans. There's no way they can shit down our collective throats. We're comic book fans. And then...
So from my understanding, what Disney's mostly done is just consolidated the presented image of the characters. So that you don't have to worry about 90 previous years of lore, essentially. 15 different, like, conversation iterations of, like, a certain character. You can just follow this character, which makes it easier for new fans to get into it. And then if they want to explore that background, they can. But comic book fans are always their own worst enemy, because they're always shitting on when new people try to get into their stuff.
Are you sure you're not talking about anime fans?
I'm pretty sure I'm not talking about anime fans.
I don't know, like, vote on your phones. Please write in about this. Whoever you are, like, please write in about this. Honestly.
If
like,
you I know, Nico, a ton of gatekeepy conversations with comic book fans specifically, because I don't know shit about comic books. And when you're trying to get into it, unless I'm talking to another female, literally, I am gatekeeped out of whatever it is I'm trying to ask about.
Tegan, I'm not saying that those people aren't fucking terrible. I hate them, and I want to drop them all in the fucking sea. I really do. Fuck comic book fans, they're the worst. Like,
whenever I have anime fans I'm talking to, it's always about, like, well, what do you like? What can I recommend you to get into it?
But you're one of them, Tegan.
Yeah, I am one of them, and I'm trying to get you to watch shit, Brian.
Oh, I'm just saying that, like, there's little stuff that, like, anime does, and this isn't stuff that you do, Tegan. There's little stuff that anime does intentionally to gatekeep, to make people who have liked anime for years feel special and feel better. Like, if you're Joe Inquisitive, or Jane Inquisitive, or Joy Inquisitive, you're just like this person who wants to, like, watch an anime. You're watching a fucking anime. There's a character on the screen, and they're having a big old like ice cream sundae, and like they're like we're gonna say they're an anthropomorphic raccoon. They have an anthropomorphic raccoon mom, and they're like, "Ha ha! I'm really enjoying this ice cream sundae," and their mother like looks at them and says, "Be careful! You're getting ice cream all around your face." Give me a name. Give me any name. Bob Coon. How it works, because they're raccoons. The guy at home, or the gal at home, or the person at home is like, why are they Coon? Or why are they Chan? Like there is not an effort to provide, like, meaningful translation. Like, I can't tell you the number of animes I've seen where, like, they'll, like, have, like, some transliteral translation on screen, throw an asterisk at the end of a sentence, and at the bottom of the screen have like 10-point font, like a 3-paragraph tiny explanation of the thing that they just like transliterally translated. They're just like, okay, well, here's what this means exactly, but you will have to, if you want to, pause the screen, interrupt the narrative beat, and then read this 3-paragraph essay on what this means and like what its cultural relevance is, as opposed to the translator doing what they should have done, which is find something that conveys that cultural meaning in the same beat.
Are you talking about a sub experience or a dub
I am talking about a sub experience.
Okay, because that sub experience sounds specifically like a fan sub experience. I have seen it in main media, but usually in my experience, it's not 3 paragraphs, and it's at the top of the screen, not the bottom. But, like, if you're doing a sub experience and they're trying to make it so that you understand exactly what they mean, then a literal translation is going to be what they do.
Well, I don't want to know what they're saying. I want to know what they mean, and I understand that there is a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I tell you it's hot enough to beat the band, I don't literally mean that there is a band being beaten. I don't.
Yeah, but it's not an idiom. It's an honorific. It's like sir or like kid.
Well, the honorifics are like one thing. Like the failure to translate honorifics is a fucking big deal. Like, is there a reason that you can't say honey or baby? Like there are yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like there
because you don't. That's
not what they're saying. Like,
it's a sign of respect. It's not a sign. It's not like a nickname.
Like or miss. Like
it's not quite that either, though.
Then fuck it. Then apparently anime is not for us.
Well, no, okay, so in my experience with fan subs, they don't, or in regular subs, they don't put the san-chan whatever afterwards. They don't. They just put the character's name.
I can't tell you how many fucking dubs I've seen where they're whipping out these Japanese honorifics in the middle of English dialogue.
And that's a bad job on the dub team. That's a bad job on the dub team.
This is anime, Tegan. Anime is designed to gatekeep.
Okay. All right, man. I'm sorry you've had such a bad time with anime. I'll stop recommending them to you.
Same.
Oh, fuck off, Rocky.
They're not for you, dude. I totally get it.
Yeah,
I'm fighting an uphill battle.
No, I'm just thinking, like, anime doesn't want new people.
Okay.
Like, and that's part of the problem is that, like, that's not what I want for, like, I would like to go to the anime treehouse. I would like to be in the anime clubhouse. But if, like, what anime is telling me is, sigh, I'm sorry, there's no word that is an equivalent of Chan. There's no word that we can put here. We have to say Chan. We have to, or we'll fucking die. Then, like, anime has no interest in growing its base.
Okay.
None. But, like, that is the shit which positions Sony effectively. Because if anime is going to fold its arms and say, oh, I'm sorry, there's no word for Chan. We can't find a word for Chan. It's just too big a fucking task. It's Herculean. There's nothing. Then that positions Sony to come in and be like, hey guys, would you like some more user-friendly anime?
There's no way they're selling that.
Yeah,
I don't
no
believe it.
selling that.
Brad, do you believe that in your heart of hearts? And that's.
I will bet you $500
I will buy you.
right
I will
now.
buy you a full price 2021 video game if that's their pitch. I swear to God, because I know it's not.
$60? Fuck that!
No,
I'm putting my money where my mouth is.
$75 or whatever it's gonna be. I don't know.
$70 plus taxes. It's gonna be $69.99 base price.
Like I realized that I set the bar high when I said $500. Rocky, I will bet you $250.
Mm-hmm.
That the ultimate pitch is like, however they execute it, more user friendly anime.
If we're doing an ultimate pitch, I want a neutral judge. We can talk about it later.
Pick Joe. Make Joe your judge. Because I feel like Joe's going to agree with Brian, but Joe is enough of an anime fan that I think would be willing to give Rocky the win if it wasn't like the way Brian thought it was. Does that make sense?
I'll take that. That sounds fine to me.
That is A-okay with me because Joe acknowledges anime's gatekeeping. So he acknowledges that anime gatekeeps.
Brian, your experience specifically, the experience that you've provided here specifically, sounds like an outdated fan experience. And I get it.
I have never hunted down a fan dub or sub because I'm not a fan or like I'm not saying
it wasn't an official sub. I'm saying it's an outdated experience that they are no longer doing that in dubbed anime. They are no longer doing that in subbed anime.
So I'm not going to find any fucking chons in like dubbed anime.
If it's an old anime, maybe. But like I'm saying, it's an outdated experience.
Okay.
So you'd have to watch something that's come out in the last 5 years for me to be able to do that. But as you've demonstrated, anime's not for you.
Oh, wow. All right. I had no idea that this episode was going to get hot.
I mean, you definitely turn on the stove, man.
I didn't even make biscuits.
You don't make biscuits on a stove, you make them in the oven.
She has a point.
That I just fucked up everything.
No wonder the kitchen's on fire. Fuck.
Oh, God.
Alright, so what was someone else's favorite story of fucking Q4? Because apparently Sony buying Crunchyroll was a hot button topic.
Yeah, okay, no, I have something that, everyone will love. The kids, the parents, our veterans. The U.S. Navy is training streamers. They just happen to be cowards. Unable to face their history in a public forum, but wanting to use Twitch as a platform, our opinions are our own, to potentially recruit people, including minors, into the military life, have been training their would-be streamers since July to fundamentally avoid inquisitions off topic, including those about past war crimes, basically saying things to the effect of, I'm just here to play the game. I think at the time when we covered it, we went over a presentation that was given to U.S. Navy streamers that was acquired by a journalist on a Freedom of Information Act request, where they had 4 particular responses to the question, what's your favorite war crime? Which are as follows. 1, I'm here to hang out with people like me who love gaming. If you want to know more about my life in the Navy, I'm happy to discuss, but I will not speak on behalf of others. 2, if you have concerns about Navy policies or actions, I suggest you contact the federally elected officials from your state. 3, I understand that some people here oppose the military and have no interest in a Navy career. But for those who are curious about what it's like to serve, let's talk. And 4, I'm here to play games. I have no interest in engaging in personal attacks. Which, again, positions the question of war crimes perpetuated by our own military as personal attacks on the person who's streaming a video game. I like this story because it shows that the military is very interested in this new potential market for recruitment and are unafraid to double down, but they are definitely afraid of facing inquisition. And so we should try to make them respond and answer to these types of things whenever possible.
It's too bad that the Navy didn't fund Full Spectrum Warrior. Because I can't solve their problems.
Oh my god. Brian, what's your favorite Q4 story?
Well, I gotta tell you that, GameStop gasping for air like a fish that's crawled out of the sea, going, at which point, Microsoft rolling over so much like Alexander Sarsgaard and Stephen King's The Stand, being like, hey, let me make you a deal. Probably right up there. So GameStop announced a, quote, strategic partnership with Microsoft that does some scary things, which they did a good job of glossing over, including individual store-level associates getting access to, quote, insights about customer preferences and purchasing history, and real-time information on product availability, subscriptions, and pricing. So, all right. Rocky, how do you feel about walking into a store and somebody knowing what you purchased on your Xbox at that store?
Gross.
Kind of feels pretty predatory, doesn't it?
It's a bit more than pretty predatory.
In fact, would you say it's very predatory?
I think very predatory is what I'd mark on that survey as I leave the GameStop.
So, GameStop gets access to that at the associate level, which will help guide sales recommendations. Microsoft gets to place service devices for sale in GameStops. And
I gotta say, as an ex-GameStop associate, that would have made recommending games a lot easier.
You know what was really cool about working at a fucking Babbage's? I asked people, hey man, what games do you like to play?
You know, people don't like to talk in GameStop. At least I
Yeah,
don't.
they really don't like to talk at GameStop. And also, like, if it's like, oh, well, I'm looking for... Usually, if you do get them to talk, it's, I'm looking for something like this. And you recommend something, and they go, oh yeah, I already bought that. So, it's not helpful. It'd be helpful to know if you already had it in your library. Because I could say, well, what'd you think of this game? Because I can recommend other games like it.
Admittedly, my games retail experience was before the internet was ubiquitous.
Yeah.
So when I would talk to people about games which were like other games, I was usually presenting them to new information because I played a shit ton of games because I had the ability to take games home, and they didn't have access to that. So being somebody who read every print magazine when there were a shit ton of those and played every game meant I knew stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was like, hey, you should play Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, motherfucker, like, they took me seriously. Even though they shouldn't have.
Right. Typically, by the time someone has come into a GameStop, unless they are, like, a parent of a young child or someone who is not very experienced in games, they already know what they want. They just want to know if you have it or not.
Right. And so I think this is the issue with, like, boxed retail again. Is that, like, I could probably recommend games to someone that nobody's ever heard of, but those games don't exist as, like, boxed retail items. You know?
Right, so knowing, like, oh, well, this is available on Xbox, like, now I can recommend you games that are on Xbox that you can purchase on Xbox, or you can get on Game Pass on Xbox.
Right.
Because I know because of your Xbox history that you like other games similar to it.
Right. And what's wild is that now that actually benefits GameStop, because when somebody purchases a physical Xbox device at GameStop, GameStop will get a slice of all their future digital purchasing. Right. So somebody could roll into a GameStop and be like, I really like visual novels. And I could have a sincere conversation with them and be like, you know what, man, there's really nothing in here for you. But I do recommend this. And it would still represent a meaningful win for GameStop, even though there would be no transaction that would happen over the counter. I contend still, just as I contended when we covered this the first time, that the eventual outcome of this story is that as GameStop is gasping and dying its last final breath, that Microsoft will ultimately buy GameStop.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's only a matter of time until GameStop changes the logo color from red to green.
Yeah, like...
And that's fine. I think if you're gonna have a box retailer, quote unquote, that is specifically tied in with one group of online gaming, like one console's online gaming more than the others, then yeah, go for it. You know?
It's obvious, like, why they want it, because they tried to open the Microsoft stores, which were modeled after the Apple stores.
Right.
And they died horrible deaths.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like...
They didn't know what they were doing.
They didn't know what they were doing, and the real secret is that nobody actually likes going in the Apple store. They go there because they have to.
The Apple store is not, like... It's not designed for shoppers. It's designed to display tech.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you go into an Apple store, and it's very much like a surgical strike. You're like, I want this, 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 this. Go get them for me and fuck off. And then you leave as quickly as possible. Like, Apple stores are very, very busy and terrible places. And no one wants to be there. Like, going to the Apple store feels a lot like a doctor's office or a DMV.
Yeah, it's a DMV. It's absolutely a DMV.
Yeah. And, like, I think that was part of the mistake, is that Microsoft thought that there was, like, some component of the customers of Apple stores who wanted to be there, not realizing that they don't. But here's the thing, is that there are people who want to be in a GameStop, and then there's people like me who are nostalgic for GameStop. Who are like, I don't like GameStop now, but I liked GameStop years ago or decades ago. And finding a way to make some number of GameStops still be vital and feel vibrant is a good idea. And, like, the fact that what's weird is, like, getting back to Frank Hamlin from our Q1 story, is that these stores could ultimately end up paying for themselves, even if they ultimately don't sell much in the way of retail product at all. If they just become a place where people hang out and sit on couches and talk about video games, so long as one guy is being paid to do so, that becomes a fucking thing. Very seriously. If they're just like, hey man, check out this new game, you know, it's Among Us 2, this time there's parachutes. That guy is probably going to be able to, like, push, like buying decisions in a meaningful way once people get home. Like, there will still be a certain segment of customers who will still want to buy physical, you know, boxed products, increasingly less because of, you know, affinity toward physical objects, like Rocky Tegan or I might have, and increasingly more so just because of their inability to access credit products because of the way credit works in the United States. And they want to buy Madden and they want to buy Call of Duty with a disc because they can't get approved for a debit card. And so they have to buy it with cash. And so there's going to be those people who will come in and will just buy the Call of Duty disc or buy the Madden disc because that makes the most sense to them. And some who will just come in and, like, buy the Xbox gift card and then go download it. I see this partnership as really the only way forward for GameStop. And I think I'm fine with that. I'm not sure I feel okay saying that, but I think I'm fine with it. Like, because I like those spaces. I wish they were less shitty. And this kind of seems like a way for them to be less shitty. How do you guys feel? I don't like the predatory shit. I need to stress that. I don't like walking in and having somebody be able to peer at my asshole. But
I think the data in salespeople's hands make them more effective, but salespeople, like, almost certainly as a rule, and are usually kind of predatory, which is what makes the information dangerous. However, in my experience, GameStop's associates are surprisingly less predatory. And
because they don't care. Like,
right.
pro tip, they don't care. Every manager will say, you have to sell this many, whatever, and literally every manager does not give a shit. Like, they say it because they have to say it, but then no one actually enforces it.
Right, and
if
I
they
feel
think
like
it's a good deal for you, they'll say it. That's it.
I would wonder if that data is a harbinger of a shift in, like, philosophy. Maybe they do want to be this cultural space, and maybe that'll allow them to be more laid back, or, you know, about as laid back as they've been, for being honest. But if it encourages them to be more aggressive, that's something I'm concerned about. But, you know, time will tell.
I think it's, like, from, like, a purely retail perspective, I also think it's a good way to, like, make the associates more effective. But not because, like, then they can see your history, but that way, like, a like-minded associate can come up to you and be like, oh man, I see you were playing, like, this game last night. Did you like it? If
maybe
so,
don't say last night. That's
well, you know what I mean.
I do
like,
know what you mean.
Oh, I see you downloaded this game recently. How are you liking it? Because if you're not liking it, I can recommend games that are similar but not like this game, or I can recommend games that are like this game more closely. Like, which would you prefer? As opposed to me going up to somebody going like, what kind of games do you like? And they say, I like shooters. I am no longer helpful. I don't know any shooters. Like, sorry, bye. Good luck finding a new game, because I don't play those.
Oh, Brian, I know I have next story, but I feel like yours is the shot and mine should be the chaser.
Ah, okay. Well then...
The order on the list is arbitrary at this point.
Then gather round, friends, while we tell the tale of the thing that we didn't really cover because we didn't do news in December, but holy fucking shit.
Dude, I can't wait to dunk on this all February. Like, I know all these episodes are all coming out in January, so you won't really get to hear from us until February, but dude, we are dunking hard.
Well, this is... Tegan, I hope you got on your Duncan shoes.
I don't, but I'll put them on.
Put them
Give me
on.
a second, I gotta change out of these festive slippers.
It's time to slam. It's time to jam.
It's time to jam, and welcome to Taco Bell.
Hey y'all. How CD Projekt is your red? Whew. So
Male and female voice actor got completely different directions.
oh my god. Honestly, guys, I don't even know where to start, and I would...
Let's start with the abuse of workers and go from there.
Okay, I was going to say, to quote an Adult Swim short from several years ago, it takes a lot of cooks to make a stew. And I know this is labeled as me, but please, we cannot have too many cooks on this. So, sound off. What are your favorite CD Projekt Red? Holy shit, I can't believe you actually did that. I'll start with, I think, the one that happened earliest this year, which was the one where they bragged about how much crunch their employees were working. Which was like, where they're like, yeah, man, all our people are working like 80 hours weeks. And then they realized like how bad that looked for them. They tried to walk it back.
My favorite is, one of my favorites is, no, like, the crunch culture wasn't that bad, or, like, won't be bad going forward, which is why we're pushing the game back. Simultaneously sending out an email to all employees saying, hey, you better let your, like, spouses at home know that you won't be home for the next 2 weeks.
My favorite was the follow-up communication to employees, which is, if you have Reddit accounts or public social media accounts, post on your social media about how crunch is not that bad. That was hot. That was sexy.
That was sexy. That was so... love it.
Oh my fucking
Capitalism
god.
at its finest.
Like, I'm here to tell you, I have never, at any job I have ever had, received a directive from an employer telling me to post a specific thing to my personal social media. Holy shit, that's amazing. Like, please post something to your social media about how work conditions are good. Like, wow.
I mean, honestly, like, I'm seeing, like, when I saw those tweets, I know there's some, like, mid-level manager someplace, like, oh shit, can we do that? And, like, maybe they get in trouble for it for, like, social media, but maybe they're a small enough company that no one will care. That's all I'm saying. That's
Rocky,
not going to go away.
Did you have a fave?
We want to know what your fave is, because we couldn't hear your fave.
Oh, jeez. Honestly, I didn't dig too much into, like, the specific crunch abuses, because, like, I don't really fuck with CD Projekt Red like that in the first place. I was just like, I don't want to deal with this.
I liked that they, a super favorite of mine was that they did not remove any of the shit which exotifies trans people from the game.
Oh yeah, that wasn't going to go away. They doubled down on it like in March.
Yep. So that was great, super good.
Oh,
God, I just
Did either of you play it? Did either of you play it?
I didn't play it.
No.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Ready? Characters randomly T-pose. Also, they'll shoot each other simultaneously, and then the police will come and shoot you instead. You get street cred for defending cops from the civilians. There was way too much time spent making the circumcised versus uncircumcised penis. Also, it's wet. I don't know why it's wet. It's wet. It's wet in the character creation screen. There's no reason for it to be wet and flop. They don't, you can't tell me they flop like that. There's no way that's how penis physics work, number one. Cause penis, they shrink up and they're tiny, right? Like, there's no way they flop like that. Absolutely no way. Do not believe it.
Well, take it there's
there
growers
was too
and
much
showers.
time. There was too much time spent on boobs. Way too much time spent on boobs. Not because the boob physics are bad the way that they're bad in some games. No. The opposite, in fact. They're too perfect. They're all beautiful machine-created boobs. And they're boring and have no, like... They're too boobs. There's too much of them.
So
There's too much emphasis on females who end up in freezers and fridges in the literal sense that they are in freezers and fridges. The female voice actor for V and the male voice actor for V got different directions. The male voice actor for V has that confidence and overcockiness of a young white man on the internet for the first time while away from home, and the female has like I have to prove myself because otherwise I'm gonna be fucking abused again vibes. Like, I don't understand how the same lines read by these same people, by these two different people, are so wildly different in tone and execution. Like, it's crazy. There are characters who just T-pose randomly. There are characters who get mad at you because they're sitting on a collectible and they won't stand up, but you have to get the collectible for, like, a quest or something, and they won't fucking move, and then you get in trouble for shooting them, but that's the only way that the bodies will move. The bodies get super stiff as soon as they die. They all, like, jump up and go, like, rigid, or all the legs and arms fold in on itself, and it turns into this weird little potato with hands sticking out of its head. Randomly, characters will glitch below the ground, and then above the ground, and then below the ground, and then above the ground, and then they'll die because they suffocated below the ground. There's a part in the Night City where there's just a hole, like they didn't close the world all the way, and you can just literally jump into the hole and fall straight through the world for no fucking reason. The cars are so bad. At one point during a mission, the day-night cycle flipped. It it was dead night, and normally, like, you just keep driving and whatever. No, as soon as you hit, like, a threshold, it just turned to noon. For no reason. The game didn't need it to be noon, but apparently for that quest in that spot, it has to be noon. I don't know why. It's bad, and Johnny's a dick, and, like, I get he's supposed to be a dick, but, like, there are definitely some lines there that, like, not good. Very, like, problematic in the triggery, rapey way, if that makes sense. The fact that they used an actual device that's created to trigger seizures in people as part of an unskippable cutscene that they then had to patch out, but they didn't patch out for, like, 3 fucking weeks. And the way they patched out was they just make the lights go bright instead of, like, flashing the way that they did. So it's still dumb. And, like, oh, God. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. Game's weird. Game's weird. Game's bad. Design bad. Storyline flat. Like, there's a suicide ending. Pro tip. Hey, guess what? There's a suicide ending. Like, maybe not, though. Maybe we don't need a suicide option where you literally stick a gun barrel in your mouth and pull the trigger. Literally, that's what, oh, sorry, trigger warning, I guess. But, like, that's the thing that actually happens. And then all the characters you meet in the game call you up and leave you voicemails after they hear you've committed suicide, and you get to listen to all of their sad voicemails. What the fuck? Yeah, Roman, what the fuck? Okay, I think I'm done.
Tegan really put on her boots.
I have more, but, like, huh?
Tegan really put on her boots.
You said put on the boots, so I fucking did.
Tegan?
Yeah.
I've never been more proud of you.
I couldn't save Brendan. That's not fair. There should be an option to save Brendan. I'm really mad about that.
Like,
also, there was an unsolicited sex scene that we watched earlier today. We were just like, we walked into this room and we thought we were, oh god, apparently the quest line is, you save this high-ranking Militech, Millicorp, whatever, exec's job, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, you, like, walk to this area and she's just in, like, bondage straps. Like, leather bondage straps. She's not tied up or anything. Mm-hmm. And she's got, like, black X band-aids on her, like, with electrical tape or whatever, on her nipples. Which doesn't make any sense because, like, literally everyone else's nipples are just out for the world to fucking see. So it doesn't matter. And it's not like the boobs look any different than any of the other boobs anyway. But, like, there was a gratuitous sex scene. Like, I was not ready for that. And she's just like, all right, here we go. And then it's just literally, like, 2.5 minutes of you fucking this older lady.
But
why?
Tegan, are you now?
Why?
Tegan, are you horny now?
No, I'm not. I don't feel that. It was uncomfortable.
Tegan,
it was weird. Alex and I were sitting there and we were both like, it was like watching a sex scene with your parents.
Tegan, will you please do a horny?
No! I don't think I can do a horny. Like, what do you mean? What kind of horny do you want me to do, Brian?
Careful, Brian.
Will the video game make you feel a warmness?
No.
Okay.
No, it's cold and just covered in neon lights and Japanese.
Okay.
And, like...
There's a game that does that a lot better.
First of all, this isn't like a cyberpunk game. This is somebody who, like, was like, I like the cyberpunk aesthetic. I'm gonna do that. And then it's capitalism. And all the shitty parts of capitalism. Like,
wait, it's cyber appropriation 2077.
Yeah, it's cyber aesthetic appropriation 2077.
What's fucking crazy is that 2020 actually had two, not one, but two, count them, really good cyberpunk games.
Yeah, and this one wasn't it, man.
And, like, I think that, like, come next week, Rocky and I are going to both talk about at least one of those.
Everyone in this game is shitty.
Rocky, tell me what you're... Rocky, preach to me. Preach to me.
I was gonna talk about Umurangi Generation.
Oh, God, yes. You see, I knew. I fucking knew. I knew.
It's been on the list for like 3 weeks, but for sure.
I mean, it's on the list. Rocky down here has a 26-letter alphabetized list.
But between fucking Umurangi Generation and Ghost Runner, baby.
Oh, Ghost Runner is good.
Yeah. Like 2020 was like, you want cyberpunk? We've got fucking cyberpunk. Like there was actual legitimate cyberpunk to be had. Like my favorite thing about okay, I'm actually gonna like, hey, sneak preview of next week. I'm just going to be out here preaching about Umurangi Generation for a moment. One of my favorite things about Umurangi Generation is how often the game, just because of the way it physically designs its space so carefully, so bespoke, will force you into taking photographs that show this scary, overpowering, and overwhelming presence of corporations. Where there's just no other physical position to take the photograph you need, except one that forces you to acknowledge the existence and overwhelming nature of corporations. And I'm just like, yep, that's cyberpunk.
That city is downtown and slummy, and water costs $99 a gallon.
That might be real at some point.
And they think that's enough. That's the problem.
Yeah, probably. Well, no, it's like it's downtown and nasty, and water costs $99 a gallon. But it's also like half Japanese, but not in like, I don't want to say not in the right way, quote unquote, because like, what is the, like, I don't want to be like, but I don't want to be that person, but like, this isn't the Japanese aesthetic of cyberpunk that you're bringing in. This is just Japanese aesthetic. Like, you're a weeb. Like, just say you're a weeb.
Like,
Don't say you're a don't say like this is cyberpunk, because this is not. It's not regular cyberpunk, and it's certainly not like Japanese cyberpunk.
Ticket, please feel free to like taser me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah.
But when I think specifically about like classic Japanese cyberpunk aesthetic, one of the first things that springs to fucking mind is Ghost in the Shell. Yeah. Yep. You know, like, which is the thing I grew up on, and it was, you know, part of my bread and butter. Like, and the way it handled, you know, failed governments and corporate overreach and personal identity in the face of growing technology was like beautiful and insightful and like revelatory.
Right. No, not this. Not at all. There wasn't anything beautiful about the Ghost in the Machine that was what Keanu Reeves' character was. Like, literally a mental imprint of his personality on a chip that you put in your head and then slowly kills you.
How do you fuck up having Keanu Reeves?
Every single character in this game, and I mean this with the utmost sincerity, every single character except for Brendan is an asshole. There is nothing worth saving in this world. Not even your main character. Everybody sucks. All the time. There is no hope. There is only the hustle.
So...
It's so shitty. Brendan's the only good character in that game. And that's my cyborg sent by Cyberlife. And he's a vending machine. And he, like, just wants to talk to people and, like, give them life advice. And, like, supposedly, his AI program was so that he could make better recommendations to people on what drinks to get out of his vending machine body. But, instead, he just, like, started being nice to people, and people started hanging out with him. And it's just Connor, but instead he has emotions. And, like, at the end of his questline, he's just like, yep, they're deleting my AI program, and they're gonna restart me into system regular settings. And it was fun. I'm gonna tell you a joke, and then I'm gonna turn back into a fucking vending machine. And that's it. And Brendan was the only character who would have been worth saving in that whole goddamn city. Fucking bullshit.
So I had this conversation. Like, I honestly want to do a cyberpunk special. Like, I'm honestly considering buying this game just to hate it.
No, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it, because what you're doing is, you know, validating the terrible choices and the path that they walk down.
I could buy a used disc. I could go.
Yeah,
on...
if you get a used disc, get a used disc. But
yes.
Like, don't. And like, honestly, if we're doing a cyberpunk special, I want to have Alex on it, because he's the one who actually played the game,
like,
and he may have different opinions than me. But like, oh, it did not live up to the hype. It should not have been released under the circumstances it was. The story is flat. The world is dull.
I had this conversation with Stuart, and Stu is not only like a longtime cyberpunk fan. Stu is a longtime like actual legitimate hacker. Like, Stu has hacked shit that would like set your hair on end. And like, I'm not here to like blow his trumpet. Like, I mean, if y'all want to talk about it after we're done recording, but like, he has actually like done shit from a hacking perspective that blows my fucking mind. Like, I saw like manifestation. Oh, you know what? I'll out the one time like I was able to experience like an outward, real world manifestation of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all remember Geek and Sundry, started by Felicia Day?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you remember when Geek and Sundry had a contest for people to get shows on Geek and Sundry?
I did.
And, like, they asked people to send in videotapes and be like, hey, send in videos and tell us why you should be on Geek and Sundry. And then had people vote. Do you remember this?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
But I will trust you.
Okay. Rocky remembers, Tegan doesn't. So, what happened was...
Tegan didn't follow it that closely, so...
I was in love with Felicia Day, it happens.
Yeah. You say I was in love with Felicia Day, it happens?
Yeah.
That's fair. Anyway, also Rocky said a thing, but it was on a different podcast, so we're not going to address it here.
Okay. You're still mad about that? Whatever, I don't care. Go
It's
ahead.
fine, Rocky. It's a bit. I'm actually promoting Joe by bringing up that bit. Anyway, so like when they like had their list of their like 10 finalists, like it was like bright, like colorful, happy, like 20 something, bright, colorful, 20 something, like bright, colorful, 20 something. And then along comes like soft spoken like Stu, like, hey everybody, I'm just happy to be the 10th finalist. Hi everybody, how are you? Hi. And the reason that Stu was on the list of the 10 finalists for Geek and Sundry was he hacked their fucking database, which counted the number of votes for each finalist, and just gave himself enough votes to be the 10th finalist.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. And that's like the least impressive hack of his I know. It was just the one that was like the most forward-facing in public. And like when I asked him about it, he was like, yeah, you know, like my idea was that like if I got the Geek and Sundry show, I would do a Geek and Sundry show about hacking. And I was like, that's cool. That's really cool. And like we talked a lot about the idea of like cyberpunk as a cultural movement and what cyberpunk has meant historically, you know, in literature and societally. Like, what do people mean, you know, when we talk about cyberpunk, and like the idea that like cyberpunk as a literary movement is dead and that we're now in a post-cyberpunk era. We talked about like in a post-cyberpunk era, what exactly could Cyberpunk 2077 even have accomplished? And the answer is still a lot. They could have accomplished a lot, but they didn't.
They dropped the ball.
Huh?
They dropped the ball.
Yeah, they fucking dropped the ball, and they dropped the ball as hard as... They dropped the ball through the earth, Rocky. Like, it was amazing. Like, by, like... There's failing to represent, like, the core precepts of cyberpunk, like, the ideas of cyberpunk. And then there's running your company in a way which is literally... the core villainous precepts of cyberpunk. Like, if you're writing cyberpunk, the villain would operate like CD Projekt Red, and that's fucking
It definitely
wild.
feels like a performance piece at this point.
It really is. Like, it's honestly like Frank Hamlin may be the individual asshole of the year, but like CD Projekt Red,
they just get most reprehensible business practices.
yes,
like,
they do. They really
They
fucking
just get
do.
the entire, like, no, I don't want to say this, but
don't say it. That's it. No, I'm kidding. This is a podcast. Say it, Tegan.
who's gonna top it?
Oh, Tegan, this is video games, and if doing this podcast for fucking 4 years has taught us, like, there is somebody who out there.
This is the worst.
Tegan, don't say that.
I did though. This has got it.
This isn't rock bottom, sadly. Like, I don't think
just
the industry
knocked
has
wood.
learned from this yet. So, like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be bigger. My bet's on Rockstar, but depending on how the next few years go, it could be Nintendo.
Those are both really good bets.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like Rockstar, like, if Red Dead Redemption 2 shows us anything, they've got it in their fucking DNA.
Mm-hmm.
They are ready. Like, GTA 6 is going to be the cluster of fucks.
Oh, actually, I have a third bet. Riot Games, but I can't name the project right now.
Then let me add one more to you.
Mm-hmm.
Activision Blizzard.
Oh, yeah, no. Jesus. Maybe Diablo 4 is their thing. But it actually turns out to be a masterpiece because the game's literally about hell and they have, like, you know, first-hand experience.
I feel like either Diablo 4, the final, the Custer stand of, like, fucking Warcraft, or, like, the Custer stand of Call of Duty could, like, easily be that. Like, just, like... But honestly, like, Call of Duty bought themselves some time by just becoming fucking Fortnite.
Yeah.
You know, they're like...
I think they have a shot at it being, and this is a sleeper hit, depends on how many bodies and money they throw at it. Their Baldur's Gate project could also come out the same way.
Yep. But so back to this imbroglio of this CD Projekt Red shit is that as Stu and I talked about various features of the game and how things were broken. We talked about the idea of police as a world control mechanic, and it's it's ridiculous that you always have to side with the police, and
yep,
and that the police really function as just a player control mechanic, and that there's nothing about them which reflects the corruptness and brokenness of the system. I'm like, oh, you mean Mafia 3 did perfectly years ago? And he's like, yeah, it's ridiculous that you really just can't connect with every individual in the entire world. Like, oh, you mean Watch Dogs Legion did this year? And what's wild is all of the expectations for Cyberpunk 2077, not all in one space, but all of the expectations individually have been met by other games. And I think that is the most infuriating thing. If there is a particular thing you came to that game for, someone has already done it. And that's the problem. Is that Cyberpunk 2077 was a game that a lot of people came to for a lot of different reasons, and a lot of other people have already succeeded. And they have learned nothing. What's important to recognize about this game is this game was announced in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
2012. The Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 were both literally not out yet.
Right.
The Nintendo Switch, not out yet. They announced this game a full generation ago, and the game that they released is a disaster on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But they said with their full chest, oh yeah, this is an Xbox One and PS4 game. And it is shocking how bad the game runs on those systems. Wow. The hubris. The fucking hubris.
Yeah, but, Supergiant Games also came through this year, and, they put out probably the best game of the year, and then said, what? It's hard? No, I'm kidding. They do. They actually put in a lot of good work, but they do so ethically. They have forced vacation days. They actively fight against crunch. They're openly communicative. They work with a flat corporate structure, which means, pretty much everyone has, a generally equal say on whatever happens with the game or the production. They generally set their own hours, and they trust each other to do so. It's definitely not something that could be scaled up, I think, to a major corporate level, but they're doing good business and they can compete on a world scale. So, shout outs to them.
I'm not sure that it can't be scaled up.
I'm listening.
I mean, at this point, it's not like Supergiant is a small fucking indie. It's not like it's 8 guys in a garage here.
They're not more than 30.
But that's not an insignificant number of personnel. And when you think about the number of people who are being assigned to major projects at major studios, there are sometimes very large games which are getting worked on by teams that size. There are times during Hearthstone's development history where Hearthstone was being worked on by a team of about 30 people.
Mm-hmm.
Hearthstone at its biggest was a team of 50. So, how's this not scalable?
I don't know. What I'm saying about scalable, I don't mean that other companies can't do what Supergiant is doing. What I'm saying is that I don't think it works on the 100 million AAA game scale, where you need hundreds of employees and managers to run them.
I think the answer is here, it doesn't work if you're publicly traded. If there are investors asking, why am I not a millionaire today? This doesn't work.
Sure, I can accept that.
I think if your company is privately held, it works. Like, I look to IO Interactive, which is privately held, and has recently expanded to 2 studios. And both studios are about 100 employees. And both studios are working full-time on different IP. But IO Interactive also has forced vacation, maximum number of hours a week that employees are allowed to work, and they just landed the fucking James Bond license.
That's true.
Yeah. And after going from like, oh, well, I guess Hitman's dead forever because Ubisoft, canceled, any further development on Hitman, and was like, oh god, what's going to happen to Hitman now? And then like, IO purchased their freedom and then worked with like Warner Brothers to publish Hitman 2, to now like Hitman 3 is like releasing as of the time of this recording in 18 days. And
the same day the president gets kicked out.
And the same day we get Weird Grandpa Joe.
Yeah.
Buckle up. But the same day we get Weird Grandpa Joe, we begin to do a whole new murder, and that murder is self-published. And it's just like IO got there not by abusing their people, but by valuing them. If they can do it with 200 people in 2 studios in 2 countries, admittedly, those countries are Denmark and Sweden.
Yeah.
Like, I guess the real answer is like governments enforcing better company behavior.
Maybe.
Because if a government is going to allow you to abuse your employees for purposes of profit, then you're probably going to abuse your employees for purposes of profit. Guys, was that 2020?
Yeah, that sounds like the whole thing.
I would like to apologize to anime. Sorry. Anime, you're right.
And first of all, anime was a mistake. I mean, I love it at all.
I'm glad I'm still able to put together a bit that Rocky likes.
But anime is often wrong. Like, holy shit. Oh my god.
But I'm also like find it to be hilarious that like the most contentious thing that we covered in our year in retrospect was like the eventual future of a fucking anime streaming service. Probably because we all agreed on the dunking of the various fucking video game companies.
Yeah, that makes life easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck them people, feed them beans. Man. I'll tell you what, though. The one thing that softened this whole experience, the one thing that made it easier, is I'm relaxing with a glass of cider I made myself.
Here it is.
Yeah. And, like, I'm really glad of it. And, you can get the tools to make your own cider from our friends at Bruzy. If you go to bruzy.refr.cc/impossiblecoin, you can get 15% off your first materials from Bruzy. And they can get you set up to make your own cider, your own wine, and you can ferment all kinds of, like, weird and crazy stuff. There's a member of my Bruzy club who's currently fermenting a 6-pack of Monster. I don't even want to know what his life's going to be like. But he's doing it. He's doing it. He's fermenting that Monster.
Oh, man. I wonder if you can ferment taurine. I wonder what that flavor tastes like.
Yep. So, ring in the new year with an attempt to try a new hobby. New Year's resolutions, they never work out. But, like, still try something new for the new year. And I recommend a new hobby. Wine making. Cider making. It's fun. It's a good time. We can hang out. Oh, Rocky.
So everyone, this has been our show. It's a long one, and I hope you'll forgive us. I hope the content was worth your time. You can find our normal content wherever you find podcasts under the name Impossible Coin. We usually put our stuff on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and SoundCloud.
Fuck SoundCloud!
There it is.
Fuck 'em.
Speaking of SoundCloud, our dear friend, the kid brother of the show, the man, the myth, the legend, Big Soch, can be found on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/Big Soch NJ. You may know his work because his music is at the beginning and end of this podcast. Our logo is also a t-shirt. It was designed by Lauren Moran. You can find her on Twitter at Lauren Moran and consider donating to her Patreon. She does a good business. And like we mentioned earlier, we have a Patreon too. It's at patreon.com/Impossible Coin Podcast. That's where you'll find our premium watch-alongs, our audio essays on things that we care about, like video games, but also anime and wrestling. And you can also get Tegan's foot pics and our artisanal show notes. And if you want to talk to us directly, get at us on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Brian's on Twitter. Tegan's on Tumblr. It's all Impossible Coin. No underscores or dashes or X's or anything weird like that. In fact, if you see one of those, please let us know. We're trying to cut back on those. But that's us. That's the show.
Word. And honestly, if we made your 2020 better, then that makes me really, really happy, because 2020 was a really hard year, I think, for all three of us. And if it turns out that we were out there making life better for other people, that probably makes all three of us happy. So if that's the case, I count your blessing as my blessing. So welcome to 2021. Let's fucking get him. That guy is gone in a couple weeks. Let's talk about some video games. Let's be happy. Peace.
Bye.
Later.
It's official. You suck.